Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are gold for energy! Send it! Incoming! Put the money in the bag, man!
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No. Who's flying the plane? Get cockpit. Go. God.
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Live from our studios in Austin, Texas, this is Drinkin Bros Fake News with Ross Patterson, Dan Hollaway, Papa G with the traffic,
How you feel?
Not good.
Yeah?
field reporter Hot Bob, and Delco Dan with sports. Welcome to Fake News.
Yeah! Welcome to Drinkin Bros Fake News, everybody. Bringing you the realest, fakest news throughout the week here. Got some Ryan Mills news at the top. He's out in these streets here in Texas, adding stores. Where's Ryan Mills at today? What did he add today for Hard AF Seltzer? Pounding the pavement for us. Total Wine is now serving Hard AF Seltzer in College Station. Apparently we weren't there before, but we are now. Aggies could have a big year, by the way. I think they might ruin somebody's season.
Say that every year.
I know. But I think they'll ruin someone's season with a big win. Terra Lounge in Westlake, Texas. Bear Creek Spirits in Colleyville, Texas. The Liquor Cabinet in Katy, Texas. Pond Springs Express in Austin, Texas. Liquor Bee in San Antonio, Texas. The Point Park and Eats in San Antonio, Texas. And Liquor 21 in Hazlet, Texas. Also, a lot of you have asked about the other half of Montana opening up. We have signed that deal. We have also signed with Albertsons throughout the entire state there. Just since 4,000 12-packs there. So the other half of the state of Montana will be open up, I would say, August 1st to September 1st. So sometime next month, depending upon when they get their cases. A huge grocery chain like Albertsons has their own way of unrolling it. I'd imagine it's before Labor Day weekend because that's college football and everybody's partying and all that fun stuff. So that's my guess right now. All I know is the order came in, and yeah, we just signed on with every single Albertsons in the great state of Montana. D'Anthony, man, this still not going away, is it? Still not going away. Even last night when we got off work, it was like, all right, maybe we're out of this. No, sure aren't. The cover-up is now complete regarding Epstein and probably Diddy and every other pedophile in America. Maureen Comey, the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, who we all know and love, kidding, was fired Wednesday from her job as a prosecutor in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office, a Justice Department official confirmed to Fox News. Comey was informed of her termination on Wednesday by the Executive Office for the U.S. Attorney's Office, the official said. She worked most recently in the prosecution of Sean Diddy Combs. Bob, what's your favorite nickname for Diddy? Brother Love?
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. Is that what you go with? I still go with Puff Daddy. Is Brother Love your top one?
Did he ever officially go by Brother Love?
He sure did.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for a couple of years.
I thought that was Eddie Griffin.
No. It kind of, if it doesn't stick, you kind of let that go into the ocean, and then hopefully Love finds a way and brings that nickname back to you. So maybe it'll work for Eddie Griffin. Who knows? But the reason for her firing as senior trial counsel for the U.S. Attorney's Office up there in the Southern District of New York was not immediately clear. Well, it's clear to us. She finished her job, I guess.
That's what I think.
That's the only thing that I can possibly think. Yesterday, towards the end of the show, we had Michael Malice on. I said, look, feel Epsteined out, and every day it's something else that's worse and worse and worse. After everything that we reported yesterday, we get off work, and this was 8 o'clock at night, and they were like, you know what we should do would be a good idea if we're trying to get people off of this story? Fire the lead investigator in that case and just really shut her the fuck up. Now, I've got a lot of questions for you here across the board. One, why was she even allowed to do this job, being that her father was the head of the FBI?
I mean, there's a lot of whys. Why was a guy from the Department of Justice sent to the New York City prosecution team to handle Trump's case? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like these are reasonable questions to ask. And to me, the only thing that makes sense, who knows really? I mean, it's possible this is just some combination of incompetence and nepotism, but the fact that she was on these two cases specifically that involve not just sex trafficking, but sex trafficking that involves celebrities, powerful donors, and politicians is not that. I don't believe in coincidence. If it was one and it was James Comey's daughter, I'd be like, that's weird. All right, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like if there's not any more smoke than that, then that's just weird. If it's two, now we've got a pattern, right? And I refuse to believe that these things are not connected. The termination represents the latest shakeup in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office. Remember, this is the office, the SDNY, that had all these Epstein files, right? They sat on them. Bondi, who was their boss, couldn't get them from them, and then truckloads showed up, and those truckloads of files turned out to not exist. You need to move on, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, with all of this stupid shit that Trump's been saying lately, is that these things are unbelievable. Like I don't necessarily mind being lied to if the lie is like for a reason. We're trying to maintain something.
Capture a killer, right?
Yeah.
You know how the police officers always lie and say we don't have any other further facts?
Yeah. But if the lie's bad, then I'm sorry, I'm not gonna play along with that. And the other part is there is so much video of everybody involved in the Trump administration. Everybody, from the intelligence community, the people that are there now in the intelligence community, to all three people that we know of in the Department of Justice: Bondi, Patel, Bongino, J.D. Vance, the fucking vice president, and Don Jr., his son, all calling for the release of these files. And now we're told that the files don't exist.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't believe that. Play this first link from Bongino here.
There you go.
Just play the audio, though, because it's from Tim Pool's show. I don't want to get us ding.
Or would be helping
He doesn't mind sharing it, but I don't want him to have to go through whitelist shit. So just play the audio.
Okay.
I don't know, about 4 years ago. It's from, let's say, a friend. Prior line of work thing, right? Guy says, listen, and this guy who calls me is an unimpeachable source. This guy's not like some ham and egg or tomato can guy throwing out some theory about a UFO he saw 72 years ago, whatever. This is like a legit no-nonsense guy. Guy you trust with your, wife, kid, and car, right? He says, I got sent on a temporary assignment once. And on that assignment, I got sent out with the WCD detail, William Clinton detail. And I knew this guy well. And he says, Dan, I got to share this with someone. He said, I go on a plane, and Bill, Clinton gets on the plane with this guy, and it turns out later the guy's Epstein. Now, this guy I'm talking to, this source, he don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is. He's just getting on the plane doing the thing, the whole, protection gig, right? He says, I get on the plane, and there are these girls who are obviously not of age who are on this plane. They're clearly young. These are not women. These are girls. And he says, I see Clinton like disappear into the back he goes, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying what happened because all I know is he disappeared and these girls were back there or whatever. And he said they land at the next stop, wherever it was. And he goes up to the boss on the detail and he says, I ain't getting back on this plane. Because he's a temp. He's not used to like whatever Clinton was up to with the whole shenanigans thing. And this guy's clear as the driven snow, man. He don't want to mess around with this. He says, whatever just happened back there, like, I don't want any piece of it. They sent him home. They sent that guy home. And he's never tempted to that detail again. Now, remember, all those Blackberries on that detail. Here's where the story gets super weird. The guy tells me, what is it, months or a couple weeks later, when you lose property in the Secret Service, an email goes out. It'll say like, hey, I lost his phone. And it gets logged into NCIC or whatever it is. And everybody knows. So basically, if you find this guy's gun, God forbid, or his phone, it's now effectively stolen property, right? All of a sudden, all the Blackberries on that detail for the agents start showing up like, oh, this guy lost his BlackBerry. Holy shit. Wow, that's so crazy. How'd that happen? I'm like, no. He says, yes. He says it was the craziest thing. Like, oh, look, Agent Joey Bag of Donuts, missing BlackBerry. This is around the whole time, like the Clinton thing's going on. So fast forward this story, right? He tells me that. About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it, but, well, the story, but I know who they are. Says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset. Meaning, his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who's a very, very good reporter, I mean, aces, right? Swore Epstein was either a witting or unwitting intelligence asset, and they may have had his
what you've been saying forever.
And they're the ones who have all this stuff. So the point is, to sum it up, how do you know some of these countries aren't going to some of these power players who aren't making decisions because, hey, you wouldn't want this video out there, right?
Yeah. So for the audience, the audio listeners at home, this is dated in 2023. So going back to what we said earlier in the week, the issue that I have with Patel and Bongino and all these guys is they've been on every fucking podcast. It's not just telling these stories for years.
Yeah, it's not just a speculation. It's that I saw with my own eyes. Every single one of these people has said it. Alan Dershowitz has said it. Dan Bongino has said it. Kash Patel said it. So on and so forth. If you haven't watched the latest, I think it's Flagrant. Sagar and Yeti's on it. And
he is this morning, I believe.
He details a bunch of this stuff. Now, Flagrant recently has talked about how democratic socialism might be a good idea, so don't listen to anything he says.
Well, look, he's an unapologetic Democrat forever. So
that's democratic socialism and classical liberal Democrat is not even in the same fucking ballpark.
I totally get it.
Democratic socialism is the fucking Trojan horse to communism.
What I'm saying is it's not like he was ever a Republican.
No, I don't think he was ever a Republican. I just think he's not a very smart person. Well, I think he's a smart person who grew up rich, and his tendency is always going to go back to fucking being on the government tit. You know what I mean? So don't listen to anything that guy has to say about politics. However, Sagar, to some degree, the same, but he's not a real conservative either, in my opinion. I think he's he's a neocon to me, right, for the most part. But this is there's too much of this stuff. There's too much of this talk. You know what I mean? Where everybody, Trump said, yeah, I'll look into it. The whole thing is weird that they haven't released those files yet. That's what he said. He said it's weird they haven't released those files yet. Don Jr.'s on there, fucking, we got to get these files out there. J.D. Vance on Theo Von's show, we got to get these files out there. Everybody.
The only person who's not made a statement yet, by the way, is J.D. Vance. Nothing.
Not since then, but he before.
Correct.
In October of last year, he on Theo Von's show.
He also tweeted it out earlier this year.
Yeah. So it's like, you're not going to get me to believe that these things don't exist. That's not true. So one of these two things is true. They either were destroyed by or are being covered up by our federal government, past or present, doesn't matter to me because I make no distinction between these people because the bureaucrats are the ones that are doing it, or literally everybody, to include Trump, his entire cabinet. All these influencers are out there talking about this, who said they saw shit, the binders, all this stuff. They're lying, and there's no reason to ever trust them again. Either way, right? Like, there's no version of this where Trump is a trustworthy person, where J.D. Vance is a trustworthy person, any of these, Bongino, Kash Patel, unless they fucking find some shit and bring it out here. We know it exists. All this nonsense about how we don't know, there's no files, blah, 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 fuck you, right? So starting in 1981, I'll bring this back up again. Starting in 1981, Jeffrey Epstein was the financier, the launderer for Adnan Khashoggi, who was the chief weapons trafficker during Iran-Contra for about 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years, Epstein was an indirect employee of the CIA. No question about that.
So with what Bongino said, because he goes, he either was a known asset or unwittingly an asset. What do you think that was?
I don't think, I don't know about that.
Okay.
That's not, like, what Epstein knew is not my concern. What the CIA knew is my concern, right? And we know that they knew who he was. They were tracking on him. They were working with him. Whether he knew it or not, they were working with him. Unquestionable. And then, some years later, in 1995, about 10 years after that, the State Department leases him the second largest residence in New York. They fucking seized it from the Iranian government, and then Jeffrey Epstein leased it from them.
And lived there.
Yes, and put cameras all over the fucking building, okay? And then in addition to that, some years later, or sometime around that same time period, Leslie Wexner, this could just be some kind of coincidence, but it's too fucked up to be a coincidence. Leslie Wexner purchased the airline that the CIA used to traffic narcotics all over the world. He purchased the airline, and Epstein took power of attorney over it and moved it from Miami to Columbus, Ohio. Not Miami, Ohio. Miami, Florida to Columbus, Ohio.
Correct.
Right? Yep. Miami, Florida, where it was smuggling drugs all over the fucking South and Central America, and then into the United States. And then he moved it to Columbus, Ohio, where he took possession of it. I'm sorry. I don't know if there was some criminal conspiracy to blackmail people. I don't know anything about that. I don't know if Epstein ever knew that he was involved in any kind of intelligence operation at all. I have no idea about that, and neither does anybody else, unless they were directly involved with him in it, right? So there might be a handful of people. What I do know is two things. The agency worked with that guy starting sometime probably in the mid-'70s when he was recruited to the Dalton School, but at the latest in 1981, all the way up until 2000, early 2000, 2002, when that deal with Wexner was happening.
Okay.
Right? 30 years of records they would have on him, bumps, fucking foreign contact reports, all this shit that they would have on him, all of it. And then the second thing I know is that he ran a sex trafficking ring with a private island where rich and powerful people, including politicians from this country, visited.
Yeah.
Those are two things that are incontrovertible facts. So don't fucking tell me I'm a bad guy or I'm disloyal for asking questions about it, motherfucker. Fuck you. Like, this is completely unconscionable. And I don't understand what Trump's doing here, to be honest.
And the other part of this is last night when I came home and I was chatting with my wife about it, I was like, man, as much as I would love for this story to go away because, sick of talking about it at this point, unless they fucking release something, how do you, we just did this yesterday. We played the 3 interviews, the tweets, all the other shit. How do you fire this chick who is ahead of these cases? Look, I hate James Comey the same as everybody else. And that's probably equal on the Democrat and Republican side. I hate this chick as well. But you cannot fire her the same day as all this other shit is going on and expect people not to talk about it. This is only going to keep adding more fucking fuel to this fire.
Trump also announced today that he wouldn't appoint a special prosecutor in the Senate.
Well, Carolyn Leavitt said that.
Yeah. And then the Senate voted against releasing the files as well.
Whoa, today?
It's a coordinated effort.
What was do you have the numbers of that, Bob? Just out of curiosity?
It was the Republicans.
Yeah, the Republicans control the Senate. Like
I understand.
They either need help from Democrats or a certain session to vote in to only have to do 50, but to vote something down, that's easy.
So what was the final numbers, Bob? Just out of curiosity, because I didn't hear that story. Forgive me.
Let me check.
Yeah, I just want to know from my own curiosity at this point. But even shit. I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. The numbers in the Congress, 211 and 211. It was all Republicans. She was like, "What?"
I'm telling you, there are people in each party. They're called whips because they whip the vote. It's actually probably an acronym for something too.
WHIP, yeah.
Because it's government, and I fucking hate acronyms so much. But it's probably also an acronym. But there's a member of each party in both houses whose job it is to go ask everybody straight up, how you voting? Right? How you voting? So they can take a tally. It's called whipping the vote.
Yep.
And they know before they ever go into that chamber if they're going to win or not. There's never a surprise, ever.
Yeah, so the deputy whip blocked it. Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma.
Mark Wayne Mullen is one of the most corrupt people in all of If you remember correctly, he's the guy I was actually talking about when Crenshaw tried to fucking C&D us. And I had to do that second show because I was wrong about Crenshaw the first time. I wasn't wrong that he's a piece of shit. I was wrong about the crime. Well, it's not a crime technically. I was wrong about the unethical shit, in my opinion, that he did. Mark Wayne Mullen actually is the one that did that. Fucking buy a bunch of stock, vote on something, and then sell the stock. That's literally what he did. This guy's a total piece of shit. At any rate, another big problem about this is that the news media are primarily cowards, right? So it isn't, people have this idea that influencers and news media people are getting paid to do something. No, it's like the clout. If a famous dude comes to you, Trump himself or somebody that's a representative of him and says, hey, I want you to do this. If you're one of these internet influencers, you're going to do it. Most people will, right? I mean, I would tell him to go fuck himself and have routinely to two specific people, one morbidly obese dude, Chung or some shit. I mean, that's a perfect name for him.
The Chungus?
Yeah, Chungus is what I call him. And if you're a member of the news media, if you want to get special access and report on stuff and you want to have that, then you fucking can't talk shit. How many fucking sit-down interviews with CNN has happened since Trump took office? Or how many times he's told Caitlin Collins to shut the fuck up or you're a stupid person for asking me that question, right? So they purchase access with their compliance. That is not the job. The job is to say what the fuck happened. And now, Bob, go to your DMs on Twitter. Now, these dudes, Spice Dog is one of them. I like Sean. I think he's a good man, as a matter of fact. And
he's one of those guys, and I'll tell this for the audience, because we don't typically chat about guests that come on the show like before or after, but like even before and after the show, he was a really funny, good dude. It's rare. Like Matt Gaetz, when he was here, it was very hurriedly, and then boom, he turned it on, for the camera, and then boom, he was out of there, and it's like I don't know who the fuck that guy is.
Sean is not a politician.
Sean
He's a fucking
was actually a pretty good
naval
dude.
Officer,
Yeah.
You know
what did he do, by the way? Am I going to get buried for calling him a good dude here before this clip?
Who, Sean?
Yeah.
No,
okay.
He doesn't really. This is called two-way. It's not. It's just a show. But I don't know if I don't think he said anything out of pocket. I don't think I've ever heard him say anything out of pocket, to be honest.
All right. Yeah, because I was like, and then he touched this fucking kid. I was like, oh, Christ.
Yeah, somebody in the
talks
chat
about what a great guy he was, and it was like, and then he started sucking dick. And I was like,
no, somebody in the chat here made a good point too. How many times have I been on Fox since I called out what's her nuts, the DHS secretary? What's her name? Noam. For
Christy
fucking
Noam.
dudes while her husband was deployed. That
Nikki Haley.
No, well, it was both technically, but yeah, Nikki Haley did.
Nikki Haley was the one you said on Fox.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's like two dudes have filed lawsuit or signed sworn statements to that effect. I didn't make it up.
Yeah.
Just reporting the facts, which is your job. And by the way, Water Show was fucking stealing shit from our show all the time anyways, which it seems like the rest of the news media is doing, or they're just so far behind these motherfuckers think they're in the lead. Go ahead.
Yeah, play this clip.
So let me share something with you that everyone, I say that in air quotes, everyone I know knows hasn't been publicly reported. Everyone I know believes a major newspaper, one of the top 3 newspapers in the country, is about to publish a piece about President Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? Everyone I know knows that. And people in the White House know that too. When that story drops, if it drops today, and some people think it might, it could drive the day. Sean, Dan, have you heard about this story?
Well, I know because it's been circulating on the left, and I've had to double check that this is not, in fact, total conspiracy theories.
It's like some
Donald Trump knew
professor.
Jeffrey Epstein pretty well, and I believe that his early courting of Melania involved Jeffrey Epstein. And that has been reported by mainstream outlets over the last 10 years. alleged, I guess I want to be careful.
You've already been, I say with respect, somewhat careless, but keep going.
Yeah, but I think that, if that is where this
Mark's such a
report is
dick.
going, it's just kind of collecting and putting together and synthesizing old news.
No, this story has new news. Sean, what do you know about this story?
Vague, just I probably know about Dan level,
Right.
but I don't.
Let me throw out some questions. Let me throw out some questions, and I'd like you to jump in. Let's do it game show style. Either answer them, or say, "In fact, we don't know." Ready? How did Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein meet?
I don't know.
Don't know. Did Donald Trump ever go to Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse?
Yes.
How many times?
Okay.
So, Bob, go to your next DM for me, really quick, and just a caveat: the story that major newspapers are going to run this story might be news. But this is not. This is from 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Trump is all over the Epstein list, but nothing criminal. What he didn't want people to know is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced him to Melania Trump. I heard it from somebody who I deem as credible as anybody.
And so have I.
And placed in a position where they would absolutely know this. And said that they had seen it on the files themselves as Bondi, that blonde woman right there, was poring over these files. They had access to all of them. And they had a team of something like 70 or 80 people poring through all of this stuff, right? And one of these folks had enough and wanted to say something about it. Like, I understand Trump's motivation to some degree. Like, it's kind of embarrassing, I guess. Maybe he's trying to protect his wife. More likely, he's trying to protect his own image, which, again, I understand that to some degree. But you've taken the job, my friend, and you have to take the heat with the job, and this is part of it. Pedophiles who are trying to influence global politics and blackmail people are going to walk scot-free because of this, whether this is the primary reason or not. Maybe there's other stuff. Maybe an even bigger part of it is that there's so many people wrapped up in it that everything would collapse. But I'll tell you, if the foundation has to be abusing children, then it deserves to collapse.
Yes.
Right? I would rather have to go back to farming and kill and get rid of all this stuff than live in a world where my country is built on this.
Okay, so we said this, 2-3 weeks ago on the show, I think?
This is from July 7th, I think.
So 10 days ago?
Yeah, something like that. So I want to make one correction there. It's not pedophiles. And I know this might seem like splitting hairs to people, and it in no way is meant to, absolve them of any kind of guilt. But pedophile is a very specific meaning, and it is sex with prepubescent people. Right?
Underage.
Male or female.
Yeah.
Well, not underage. No. Underage is under 18 in some states, under 17 in some, under 16 in some, which is kind of weird. Pedophilia is specifically about prepubescent people, right? The other one would be like statutory rape or something like that, right? So I want to be very specific about the terms because no one under 14 has ever been reported as involved in any of this stuff. And I'm not saying that 14 is good. Obviously, that's not the point. The point is that there's a different definition for that, right? So that would be statutory rape and sex trafficking and so on, of a minor and so on and so forth. All those same crimes. It just wouldn't be pedophilia specifically, okay? So people have been compromising young women in a way that they want to use to control other people. That is the story, right? And this is not acceptable. And then trying to obfuscate this stuff. And then not even obfuscate, like, let's move on to the next story, but trying to gaslight people. Call them bad guys for looking into it. I'm sorry, bud. That's not going to fucking fly for me.
Now, in this clip that you just showed from our show from July 17th, 10 days ago, I agreed with you with that, and I said I had heard the same thing from a friend of mine. Are you allowed to say who yours is?
My what?
Who you heard it from?
Fuck no.
Okay.
No, that's not how this works. Do I ever get another story ever? If that happens, of course not. No, they can come at me all they want. They can suck both of my balls and my dick.
My friend,
now, Dan, if you could send me a map of all the black sites in Yemen, that would be great.
Well, I'm not asking for black sites in Yemen. I'm just saying, for me, my buddy's on the way out and doesn't really care. So it's like, he was in a service that was pretty secret, is all I'll say. And like the other thing I'll say on top of that is he also said the same thing of like, it wasn't anything nefarious. It wasn't like Melania Trump was underage. It wasn't. She was.
No, she. I mean, like honestly, the story. I don't know if any of this is actually true or not. But and it seems like it is because now a major newspaper is going to report it.
Allegedly. We'll see if this gets pulled or whatever happens.
But the story was she was a super hot model from Eastern Europe that was using the fucking channels of wealth to get herself the fuck out of there, which is not an unreasonable thing to do.
That happens all the time.
And also, does this in
Hollywood.
Does this in any way change the way anybody feels about Trump or about Melania? I think Melania is awesome.
So do I. And I think if you really wanted to get ahead of that, and let's say that is the story, because it appears both you and I heard the same exact story from two totally different people here. Get ahead of it and say, all right, this is embarrassing, but I was at a fucking party with other rich dudes, and that's what it was. Yeah. And I got introduced to her by him. I wasn't on the fucking island. I didn't do any of the shit. Here's the goddamn list. Here's all the fucking everything else. I think people would be sympathetic. I don't think you'd be in the fucking problems you're having now. I don't think the ratings and all that other shit for him, the approval ratings would be in the fucking toilets.
His approval ratings are not in the toilet. Actually, they're up 2 points.
Right now?
This week, yeah.
You're kidding.
Nope. CNN reported on it yesterday.
I saw the ones last week, and they said it had plunged to a low, but who knows? It's the same thing as fucking polling, and we've said the same thing for years on this show. You can believe in the polls or not believe in the polls. The one that's hard to turn away from is that Mamdani, or however the fuck you pronounce that guy. The Muslim guy who's going to win in New York.
Is he Muslim?
I don't think anybody is going to stop that guy from being mayor of New York.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really funny if he is, to be honest.
That's
the ultimate. That is the ultimate.
He's Muslim, yeah.
Yeah, I know that he says that, Bob.
Oh yeah, he's Muslim like.
But a lot of people, like Epstein, would have told people he's Jewish as well, and that dude has. I would love to quiz some of these American Jews about Judaism, just for fun.
Oh, I did at dinner. Do you remember that night? Do you remember that one night at dinner? And he goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I go, how the fuck do you don't? How do you know? How do you not know?
Because he's Orthodox.
Religion you've been studying your entire life.
Well, he hasn't been studying it. He's just been living by the public.
You don't know what fucking drink you can order? I mean, I went off at the table in a funny way, but like, I was like, bro, let's take it easy on the fucking Torah, all right, or whatever. But
well, I mean, that's a cultural thing. He's a cultural Jew, which most Orthodox people are. They're not super religious. That's not the point. The point is identity. And I respect that. I think it's good they do that.
It's fine, but like, dude, if you're gonna live by that code, how do you not know what the fuck you can drink?
If he was talking shit to other fucking Orthodox Jews about them not knowing stuff or doing stuff, I would care. But he's like the most unassuming dude of all time.
No, so. I know.
He's super nice too. He's like, he would never do that.
You know what the kosher drink was, Bob, at the bar?
Oh, gross.
Did you say it was Jim Beam?
No, Evan Williams.
Evan
Williams.
Which
is like,
there's a kosher Jew.
Yeah,
Orthodox Jew drink that they can have. And
for some reason, because you have to pay for it. For some reason, Evan Williams paid to get a kosher rating.
Yes,
which is something we should look into. I think.
What's the rules on being kosher for hard AF seltzer?
I don't know. I don't know if we could even do it with fucking booze like that.
I have no idea. Evan Williams did apparently because they brought it over the table. But yeah, look. You could have gotten ahead of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think people are just dumb enough not to care? And then again, you're firing all these people on top of it, and like,
I don't think it's that people are too dumb to care. Here's what I think. I was talking to a friend of mine, Bridget Fedesi. We've had her on the show.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
A good friend of Candace and mine's. Why should normal people even care about this? I think is the problem, right? So the reason that they don't or can't fit it into their brains is because it's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole story and they're being gaslit all to shit too. It's Epstein was involved in a school that Donald Barr was fucking recruiting people for. Donald Barr being an old OSS guy and Richard Barr's fucking dad. That's weird as shit. And then a couple years later, he's assisting the biggest covert gun running operation in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On two fronts, in Iran and in Nicaragua. And then a couple years later, he's moving around a former fucking CIA airline for a famous rich dude. And then he's living in a State Department leased building. Okay, this is fucking crazy. And he's hanging out with everybody. Everybody. Anybody that was a financial broker or a power broker or a celebrity or politician that was in or around New York at any point in the 80s and 90s, that motherfucker knew him somehow, right?
Yeah.
And he traded on those relationships in a lot of ways. It's crazy. Like, it's too large for people to get their heads around. So the question to me was, why should normal people care about this? Because does some scandal involving rich and powerful people and politicians, some sex scandal specifically, really affect their day-to-day lives? That's a fair question to ask, because it's always. Name any political administration, like at least every other president has some kind of sex scandal or another, right?
Correct.
Like every one of them. Obama.
JFK, Obama.
Trump fucked porn stars.
Trump.
When his wife was pregnant, and Obama was talking about kissing dudes or some shit in love
making out with
letters or whatever
dudes,
the fuck. Clinton had his fingers in everybody.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know about Reagan, but he had the throat goat, so he had to worry about it. You know what I mean?
That's why you got to get a throat goat, dude.
And I don't think George H.W. Bush ever had sex. I think all of those kids were immaculately conceived.
Do you think the bigger problem with the Epstein thing is there's a lot of financial crimes that are involved with it as well, with like J.P. Morgan, Leon Black?
Well, J.P. Morgan paid massive fines.
They did?
They paid huge fine, like $500 million or something to the victims.
But I guess for like the general public, it just doesn't connect. Like
maybe. Well, I think that the relationship between governments and people is very complicated, right? And we have come to expect to some degree them to lie to us. They make promises on the campaign. That's why it's such a big deal. Like, that promises made, promises kept should not be a slogan.
Mm-hmm. It just should be the
law. Honestly, that's like Father's Day rolling around and your wife and kids are just like, hey, thanks for being alive.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. Like, you did the least you could possibly do, right? But we have accepted that.
But I'll go back to what you said earlier. Unless the lie is actually helping us, like, when the cops come out and say we don't know who the killer is, and they do, they're just trying to...
Well, that's the thing. We accept their lie if the country generally stays on the right track. As a matter of fact, the bulk of people will accept the lie and defend their candidate even when he does the wrong thing for a number of reasons, mostly tribalism and fear, but also because I think even smarter people understand that job is complex. Because the president isn't a dictator, your congressman isn't a dictator, your senator is not a dictator. They have to fucking play by rules and depend on other people to get things done. It's complex, right? Politicians being scumbags, also nothing new.
Nope.
Right? Even the ones we like, very often, are fucking pieces of shit. JFK was a total piece of shit, right? So why should we care about this scandal in particular? It's because this one involves our intelligence community. It doesn't matter to me whether this is some organized blackmail op or not. What we know for an absolute certainty is that Epstein was a CIA person of some sort. Maybe not a direct asset, but he was involved for 2 decades at a minimum, if not 3 or 4. Forget all the other connections he had to include Mossad. For now, I'm not saying to forget him permanently, through Ghislaine Maxwell, whose dad was Mossad. Yeah. But focus, if you're just a normal person or you're trying to communicate this to normal people out there that don't care about all this political shit, focus on just these 2 things. First, Epstein was the financial fixer for Adnan Khashoggi. Most people haven't heard of him, but he was the #1 trafficker of weapons during the Iran-Contra scandal, one of the biggest scandals in our country's history and the largest arms trafficking scandal ever, right? He was a direct employee of the CIA. Khashoggi was, and Epstein worked for him. Remember that part, right? Second, about a decade later, the State Department started leasing one of the largest residences in all of New York to him, after they seized it from the Iranian government, who Epstein was doing business with through Khashoggi, right?
Yeah.
And during that same time period, Epstein is the power of attorney for Les Wexner's fucking businesses, so he can move a CIA-owned airline to Ohio. All these things are verifiably true, and they're lying to your face about it, right? The government is lying to your face about it. This cannot be tolerated. So we allowed the government to hide their involvement in the JFK assassination for 60 years. For 60 years, they grew more powerful, more emboldened. They expanded the security state. They expanded the surveillance state. All of this shit, leading us into Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, the largest expansion of the federal government in history, and $37 trillion in debt. Why? Because they knew we wouldn't demand accountability. That's why. Every time you allow this to go unaddressed, the problem becomes exponential. So this issue whether it has to do with blackmail or Israel or whatever the fuck, is an effigy for government corruption and a two-tier justice system, and it cannot be allowed to go unanswered. It cannot. Or we will create another 60 years of unchecked government corruption, and this time we will not survive it.
And to your point about Les Wexner, obviously having gone to Ohio State, and his name is on every fucking building there. It's kind of like Moody here, down in Austin. There has been smoke on that motherfucker for 25 years, 30 years. I mean, it dates back to forever. So not shocked by that in the least. And he is a pretty unsavory figure. That guy. That'll lead us to our title sponsor who puts this shit wagon on the air, talking about omahasteaks.com/Drinkin Bros. $45 off on top of the 50% off blazing hot summer sale over there with the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. My God, man, this is the deal. We talked about the beef story earlier in the week and how beef has been on the rise because of X, Y, and Z, which we outlined on Monday's fake news episode. Now is the time to go out and lock in beef prices. So when you order one of these packages over at omahasteaks.com, and it comes in an amazing styrofoam cooler box, shrink wrap around it, it is fucking ice cold. I didn't get home from practice last night coaching until shit. I want to say 9:15. So that thing was sitting on my goddamn porch in the Texas heat in 102-degree weather all fucking day, and it was ice cold when I pulled it out last night. Swear to God. The Jumbo Franks, put those back on screen, are super underrated. The brats I have not had. Bob brought that up earlier. It's not just steaks over there. They've got those smash burgers that are built for the grill are fucking awesome. So when I signed up for the 16 free smash burgers, so that'll keep going the rest of the year. Thank God I did that because I got kids who are eating the fuck out of those on a daily basis. And they're awesome. Those are the best I've ever had. From freezer to grill and in your mouth in like 5 minutes, man. They're the best I've ever had. And they've also got seafood, delectable desserts. They've been in business for over 100 years. Omaha Steaks has been America's family butcher since 1917. And there's a ton of options out there with meats on the rise. Lock in one of these rates and you're good to go for the rest of the month. We don't, at our house, we do not have to buy, steak or burgers or hot dogs or any of that stuff from the grocery store at all. It just gets delivered to our house. Convenience is easy, and the price is way, way cheaper than if I went to the grocery store or something like that. So go check them out today. Maximize your summer sizzle with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com/Drinkin Bros for 50% off site-wide during their blazing hot summer sale, and for an extra $45 off on top of that. Use promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. There's 50% off at omahasteaks.com/Drinkin Bros and an extra $45 off with promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. Bob just showed you their delicious site there. If you're an audio listener, go and see it for yourself at omahasteaks.com/Drinkin Bros. Next up, we'll stay with the CIA here.
What would you say about meat?
What about it?
Meat standing up or something?
Meat? It will stand up in the cold there. So, like, it'll hold up in that styrofoam cooler.
I see.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about my actual boner. That will not hold up in the
Yeah, because I had
cold.
already filled out a police report.
Yeah, no. It was the actual Frankfurters, as they're called, the hot dogs that was in there. Those are still, everything was ice cold in that box last night. So yeah, I'm not talking about my boner. My boner, unfortunately, does not stand up in the cold. If you pack it in dry ice, it's going to go down. Might even go inward. Sometimes is it intracts?
When you say
is that what it's called?
Retract.
Retract.
When you say N-word, do you mean
both? Yeah, that's some people call it that, because of the size.
No, I thought you meant N-word.
Oh, no, both. Yeah, it's a double entendre for it,
I think that's more of a homonym.
The size is more of the N-word size, That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard from people.
I think that's a homonym.
Is that what it is?
Not a double entendre.
Maybe. Yeah. Because they're not spelled the same?
Correct. Yeah.
What about there and there?
Homonym.
Homonym? You sure?
Do you remember that show? Or
Which one?
that segment on Saturday Night Live? What was the homonym show?
30 Rock.
30 Rock.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, it was 30 Rock. It was a parody of
Same
Saturday Night
cast.
Live. Yeah.
Same cast.
Yeah. I enjoyed that very much. Anyways.
And that's homonym, right?
Homonym.
That's how it's spelled, homonym.
Yes, but
for
that's
the people at home. Look, there's people at home who can't spell. I want to help them understand if maybe they're trying to spell for the first time.
I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Next up, the CIA lied about Oswald as well. Huge shock. The CIA has released bombshell new documents that reveal Lee Harvey Oswald was on their radar months before he assassinated President John F. Kennedy. For the first time since JFK's 1963 assassination, newly released files reveal that a surveillance officer ran a group that had contact with Oswald before the killing, something the agency had long denied. The disclosure was buried in a batch of 40 documents, which were unearthed by the House Oversight Committee's Federal Secrets Task. Why is that a thing? Why is there secrets about anything?
I think that's Anna Paulina's task force.
Is it really?
Yeah, pretty sure, yeah.
So the Secrets Task Force here earlier this month said that in its latest revelation that it undermines the CIA's long-standing claims that lends now new weight of theories of a broader cover-up. The release confirmed that CIA officer George, how do you pronounce that last name? Joanitis, probably. It's
I don't know.
Weird one.
It's a good one.
Had led U.S. efforts to infiltrate anti-communist Cuban student groups opposed to Fidel Castro in the months before JFK was shot dead riding a motorcycle
through Dealey Plaza.
Yeah, through the Dealey Plaza down there in Texas in November of 1963.
By the way, I think that Oswald was the only shooter.
You do?
Yeah.
I believe so too.
Pretty sure. Like that shot, my understanding is, Bob, you can look this up, but I'm pretty sure the farthest away it was on the last shot was 83 meters. And I could do that with a handgun from a fixed position.
Brandon Herrera did a video.
Yeah,
on
with
it.
a rifle. I could have any one of you making that shot in fucking 2 hours, maybe.
81 meters
81
was
meters,
the distance.
Yeah,
that's nothing, dude. That's not even a full football field.
Yeah, do you guys remember? I think Mythbusters did it, where they put the jelly dummy of JFK and then wrote it at the same length, same distance, and everything else. They said the same thing too, that it was one shooter.
Even though it's moving, you're moving at zero value, so it's straight away, right?
And he was
so you're just
moving
aiming,
very slow.
You're just aiming up a little bit. Yeah, they were going like fucking 7 miles per hour, something
Tops,
like that. Yeah. Anyways, it's like the conspiracy isn't who took the shot. I don't think.
Me neither.
It's more like this is identical to the Thomas Crooks thing to me. How the fuck did nobody find this guy or see this guy? And how did he get there and get fucking, 6 or 8 shots off before they clipped him? That's the question. The question for me, like all of this is mysterious and whatever the fuck.
But it's very identical to Matthew Thomas Crooks thing.
It is identical to me. How the fuck did he get there? What do we know about him before? Because Crooks, more mystery, right? He had 2 phones with like a bunch of foreign accounts on them.
5, yeah.
Or something like, 2 of them had foreign accounts on.
Correct.
It's like, what the fuck is that?
But why do you have 5 phones at all for a 20-year-old?
Well, Kevin Gates has 2.
Does he? Okay, just making sure.
One for the bitches and one for the hoes, I think.
But I want to confirm that. Like, I want to confirm that Kevin Gates actually does have 2. One for the bitches and one for the lady.
I think it's for the hose. I don't remember how the song goes. But anyways, yeah. So Joanitis, who directed quote all aspects of political action and psychological warfare at the CIA's Miami branch, ran a covert operation to disseminate anti-Castro propaganda and disrupt pro-Castro groups. JFK assassin Lee Harvey Oswald was on the CIA's radar months before the former president's killing. New documents reveal. Of course he was. He's traveling back and forth to fucking Russia, and he was a Marine. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that's a low hanging fruit there. Everybody knew that was going to be the case. It included funding and directing the Cuban student group, commonly referred to as DRE or Dr. Dre.
Yeah. I didn't forget about him either.
Members of the group reportedly clashed with Oswald, who publicly promoted pro-Castro policy for the U.S. About 3 months before JFK's assassination in August of '63. A DRE member later claimed that Oswald's approached the group with an offer of support, possibly intending to double-cross his own organization, the Fair Play for Cuba Committee. A CIA memo from January of 1963 reveals Joanitis was directed to use an alias and a fake driver's license bearing the name Howard Mark Gebler. The DRE members in Miami used the name for Howard for the CIA officer they kept updated on their activities. But the CIA told investigators in 1964 and again in 1978 that no such person existed. Turns out it was CIA officer George Joanitis. And he reportedly had oversight over a group that had connections with Lee Harvey Oswald through the U.S. government. In 1998, the agency stated it had no records of anyone named Howard and suggested the name might have been nothing more than a routing indicator or just an error or something. Despite concealing his involvement, the CIA honored Joanitis in 1981 with the Career Intelligence Medal. Investigators later testified that Joanitis withheld critical information about his role in 1963, effectively stonewalling their efforts. Quote, this confirms much of what the public already speculated, that the CIA was lying to the American people and that there was a cover-up, said Anna Paulina Luna. The newly released documents don't reveal any additional details on JFK's shooting or settle the controversy whether Oswald acted alone. But in March, the Trump administration declassified thousands of these documents, right? And people have been pouring over. On his third day in office, he ordered a complete and full release of the assassination documents. It sounds to me like this dude, Joanitis, probably did what the agency often does, which is create a terrorist, right? So, Theodore Kaczynski, you know anything about his past?
Didn't he go to Michigan?
Before he went to Michigan, when he was 16, he was at Harvard University, part of the MK Ultra program. His professor was dosing him up with LSD unawares for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then he goes and gets a degree, graduate degree, PhD in math, and then moves into the woods a couple years later and starts fucking sending people letter bombs. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the IRGC, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right? The Oklahoma City bombing. Actually, there's a...
Talking about Timothy?
Timothy McVeigh,
Yeah.
There is a new book coming out here pretty soon. God, let me see if I can find the name of it really quickly. There's a new book that's coming out, I think, in 2 weeks. I think it's in 2 weeks, about how the FBI may have accidentally caused that whole thing. And accidentally is in quotation marks.
Who's writing the book?
I got to find it.
Okay.
Hold on.
While you do that, I'll kind of piggyback off of what you said earlier. So
It's called Blowback. So Blowback, The Untold Story of the FBI and the Oklahoma City Bombing, and it's by Margaret Roberts. And it comes out on Tuesday, July 22nd, so next Tuesday.
Oh, interesting.
I've already bought it. Just waiting for it to show up in my fucking house.
You want to ask her to be on the show?
I think Bridget actually is going to have her.
Okay.
So I'll get,
Perfect. Because I'll piggyback off of what you said earlier. So I actually read these JFK files when they came out. I read the MLK ones just because it's always been super fascinating to me. And the MLK ones that's where I learned about that our own government was, planting the bombs and making it look like, Cuba was having a revolution in Florida and all that other shit. Now, they ultimately didn't end up doing that. However, though that was in those reports as well. And then that tied into, obviously, what was going on with JFK. The Gionitis guy, or Joanitis, however the fuck we're pronouncing that guy's name, he was listed in those as well. That he was kind of the dude in charge of this sitch in regards to JFK. I'm assuming he's dead, Bob. Otherwise, they wouldn't have probably posted that name. That's just my guess. If you want to look him up.
Yep.
Because if he were alive today, obviously, George Joanitis is his name. If he were alive today, you'd drag that fucking guy out in the streets. So I'm assuming he is no longer with us. But I think now it's been, 60 years?
He died in 1990.
Yeah. So at this point, the JFK thing and Oswald and everything else has been 60 years. When you release it 60 years later, it's less shocking.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Because we've all thought of the same conspiracy for however long you've been alive.
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, the real conspiracy is that the CIA is incompetent, right? From the very beginning, these are fucking soft hand turds that, for the vast, special activities is a different thing. They're gunfighters. But these case officer people, for the most part, and you can tell because the ones that are really good at it typically leave. You know what I mean? Pretty quickly, actually. I'm not going to say any names. But,
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
They're incompetent. They think they're playing chess, and they're playing checkers. You know what I mean? They're fucking morons. Everything they do. And look, to some degree, you only hear about the failures. So you don't hear about the successes. Okay, fine. Maybe years later. But it's years later. What are all the big successes of the CIA? Was it getting us involved in Vietnam or Korea? That didn't work out.
No.
Was it, excuse me, was it disrupting Iranian politics in 1953 and then again leading to the overthrow of the Shah and the installation of the Ayatollah in 1979? Did that work out for us?
No.
What about supporting Saddam Hussein to fight Iran? What about supporting Muqtada al-Sadr to fight Saddam Hussein? What about creating ISIS to fight Muqtada al-Sadr?
Well, no.
What about creating Al-Qaeda to fight the Russians, right? Nothing that they've done has ever been good. They fucking suck. The CIA kept this secret not for national security, but because it shows how incompetent they are. They suck at everything. People, we make all these movies about how cool the CIA is. What the fuck have they done? The Bay of Pigs. They suck at everything. You know what you don't hear about? You don't hear about fucking failed MI6 operations all the time, or KGB or FSB, whatever they call themselves now. You don't hear about that. You don't hear about failed Mossad operations. What you hear about after the fact is Israel saying, yeah, we did that because it was so successful. Like clipping all these dudes in Iran, like Stuxnet back in the day, like the post... the
beepers, the pagers.
The post-German Olympics bullshit. That's what you hear about. The CIA is fucking terrible at their job. Should not exist. Like if you had this as a wing under your company, right? you got a whatever company it is, and there's an entire branch of your company that just fucking sucks. And I don't mean a retail branch somewhere. I mean an entire wing of your company, and it just sucks. Everybody's fired.
Yeah, you clipped the whole...
We did it.
Unit, yeah, sure have.
We did it. We did it back at Black Rifle with Fulfillment.
Yep.
Back in the day.
We've done it at Tetherball Academy Media. We've done it in Hard AF. Like whatever it takes. If there's a problem.
Yeah, the CIA sucks at everything. They're not good at anything. Never have been. Right? The wins that we get are primarily from the DoD, actually, which is where the CIA should be in the first place. It should only be the DIA. And of the DIA, naval intelligence, primarily the targeting officers that have come out of there have been our most effective tool intelligence-wise, right?
What does the DIA stand for?
Defense Intelligence Agency.
Okay.
That's the only one.
I've never even heard of that, by the way.
Yeah, DIA should be the only one. CIA should not exist. There should not be a fucking a civilian organization running around doing fucking kinetic operations. I'm sorry, this just should not be a thing.
But I'll play devil's avocado here. One might argue they're great because it took, 65 years to get these stories out?
I mean, they're great at blackmailing American politicians.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what the FBI did for years as well. Right? That chicken hawk that was in there, the cross-dresser, what's his name?
Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Fuck, man.
FBI?
Hoover.
Yeah. Hoover.
J. Edgar?
Yeah.
The fucking cross-dresser?
Yeah.
Yeah, all he did, he didn't actually do anything great at the FBI. The biggest fucking intelligence breach in the history of this country came on his watch. Well, actually, no, he may have been gone by then. When was Robert Hansen? That was in the 80s, wasn't it? Yeah, he would have been gone by then.
Yeah. That was
and it was also a
they
shitty
didn't discover
movie.
Hansen until the 90s.
That was also one of the only Leonardo DiCaprio movies that I didn't like.
That wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was.
And Hoover?
Yeah, no.
Oh, and Hoover, yeah. I thought you were talking about Robert Hansen's movie. That was Chris
Cooper and Ryan
Phillippe. Yeah.
Chris Cooper, I blew his motherfucking leg off in a Time to Kill.
The CIA sucks is the point of all that. Terrible. The only thing they've been good at is convincing politicians that they know what the fuck they're doing because politicians are also fucking morons.
And DiCaprio doesn't make bad movies, so the fact that it was Hoover, that was the only fucking strike on his resume there, I mean, my God, man. So... yeah, but all of this, to me, going through all this stuff, by the way, it's out there, and it's been out there for, I think, March. They started dropping this, late February or March. I started reading it, and I do believe it was Anna Paulina Rubio who was the one who put them out first. It's really fascinating if you care to go back and see it. I think, though, and I believe I said this on another show of ours, once you do read it, you're so unsurprised by it because we've all assumed the same things over and over and over again. That's it just kind of confirms all your suspicions is what it does. That's why I don't think it's that widely reported because none of us are shocked by what we read. The one thing, though, that I still get from time to time, and I'm sure you do too, is people hit me up about, man, there was a Secret Service agent who turned and fired at JFK. from behind him, and it was in front of the motorcade.
They think that
whatever.
no. Well, they think there was either a guy at the fence line on the behind the grassy knoll or whatever,
which has been disproven. I think a million times.
But there's another theory that isn't horrible, but I think the video kind of disproves it, that the driver turned around to try to fire and he popped homeboy in the face accidentally. Which even if that happened, that dude was going to he got hit by the next bullet anyways. He would have been dead either way. So I guess that's kind of it's an interesting thing to worry about. The reason that the JFK thing has been primarily focused on the shooter for this whole time is to distract from the fact that they're retarded.
Yeah,
and they created the situation. They probably gave him the fucking gun, man. There's they probably gave him a gun that they thought was inert or with blank bullets, and he just put real ones in there or something stupid like that. That's how dumb these fucking people are.
Did you read that special committees thing that came out about Thomas Matthew Crooks?
No.
They ended up suspending, I want to say 12 FBI agents on that who were working on it during that day in Butler, Pennsylvania, and they just, it was just a laundry list of everything that went wrong. Now, when I read the report, I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like, because they were saying, oh, it's just gross incompetence all day and everything else. No, I think it was total competence, and that they had made a deal to let that fucking guy in there and take a couple shots at the president. It just didn't work out as planned because Trump moved at the last tenth of a second.
Mm-hmm.
But even in that report, I'm reading it, and it was just like, okay, cool. You want me to believe that 12 horrific mistakes in a row happened over and over again for a 3-hour period of time, and he was that close to the president of the United States?
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way. There's no way.
If I'm and you know, look, you can't see everybody. There's thousands of people walking around.
Yeah.
But if a dude, like the images I've seen is this dude by himself, which already is a red flag, right?
Yes.
So if I, just not to give too much insight into this shit, because there are people that are far better qualified to speak on this than myself, but if I was in an Overwatch position, which I was in a lot overseas, then somebody by themselves is a fucking definite suspicious thing, right? Out in public. Most people are not out in public by themselves in places like this or at events, right? If you're out in public, you're going shopping and shit. But if you're at a concert or at a rally or at some kind of thing like that or a fucking farmer's market or some shit, probably not by yourself. Maybe you are, but the chances of that are low, in my opinion, right? So if I saw somebody that was walking by themselves, I'm immediately going to the hands. What's in their hands? What's their hands doing? Are they fucking moving when they walk? Do they have them clutched? Is there something in them? And this dude is walking around with a fucking rangefinder. What the fuck,
and by the way, and if you read this report that just came out, and it's available like in all public forums, not only was he walking around with a rangefinder, there was like 5 different people
and
who called and were like, hey, this guy looks suspicious, man. Can you bring somebody down here?
Rangefinder, then he shows up later with a ladder and a backpack.
And 5 different witnesses had asked for help of like, hey, dude, this something seems off here. Can you guys come and check on this?
Yeah.
All of it was denied. Also, part of that report said that Biden did not give him the requested extra service members for,
well, I mean,
for that day.
You got to put Biden in quotations because he was not.
He was not
aware
the president.
of
Correct.
anything.
Yeah.
I don't like Biden's definitely a piece of shit, and I don't want to excuse any of his behavior before he became retarded, because he said racist shit all the time, which is funny to me, kind of.
Yeah.
But he actually meant it.
Yeah, he meant
you know
it,
what I
yeah.
mean? Which is kind of different.
That's the difference. Yeah.
He also plagiarized people all the time. He's a genuinely dishonest person, right? But don't give him too much shit for being, a retarded old man as well. You got to blame. Not to take blame away from him, just to put it on the people that it actually fucking belongs to, which is everybody in that chain of command.
Yeah, and this guy, Thomas Matthew Crooks, has the same traits as everybody else that you mentioned earlier. Where
it's very
similar. He was extremely smart.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, magically, he just started. He asked his dad for a rifle, got it for $500, and then just started training over and over again, and became a regular at this Clarendon Sportsman's Club, just about 9 miles from home. And he was just, man, that's just a fun hobby to take up. Is just me going to the gun range with a rifle and a rifle only. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, dude, I think the same thing happened. I mean, probably almost identical to Oswald. And they let him fire off a couple rounds, and then boom, great. Now, Oswald got out of there and went to a movie theater. But
yeah, what was playing? Bob, can you look that up?
That's a great trivia
Yeah,
question.
it's an interesting trivia question.
What was the movie that Oswald was at where he was arrested? What was playing on screen?
It was a double feature of
Fuck yeah,
War
dude.
is Hell and Cry of Battle.
I don't know either of those movies.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. No wonder he looks so bored in there.
Cry of Battle?
There wasn't a
is
lot of people in the theater. So
Rita Moreno, James MacArthur.
she's died. She won a couple Oscars.
Yeah.
Rita Moreno. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
She just died.
Apologies then.
No, she's still alive. She is
really?
93 though. Oh, she was born in Humacao. I love Humacao.
That's right. She was in West Side Story, Bob.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
Van-
I'm well aware. that
are you,
Rita
Bob?
Moreno played Anita in West Side Story.
Just checking, dude. I know you love it.
and the only one I acknowledge.
Hello. I know you love it, Bob.
Yeah, you're a gay, is what he's saying.
No, you're not, Bob. I just
That's
think
what
you're
he's-
a-
that's
a
what-
straight man who loves theater.
Now, speaking of gay, the movie War is Hell, the writer and director was a man named Burt Topper.
That's not great. That's not great.
That's better than Burt Bottomer, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're the topper or a bottom.
Burt Topper, huh?
Congratulations to him. But yeah, all this stuff is very similar. And then, even this Epstein thing, I think the real shit will probably come out after we're dead, right? Not after Trump dies.
Oh, yeah,
Or do you think that?
We'll be long gone.
Do you think that? Do you think they would release all the files after Trump passes away?
No.
Okay. Because there's too many people still alive?
It's even less likely that he fucking happens after he's gone. He's the only person that has the fucking balls to do anything like that.
Yeah. That'll bring us to our next sponsor here, talking about mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposits all the way up to $1,000. If you watch or listen to Drinkin Bros Sports here, we got the Delco Dan Dirty Golf Pick Show. That's me and him do. British Open is currently going on as we speak. My pick this week, Matthew Fitzpatrick, is tied for the lead. So that's rad. Was really shocked, though, that it started at 12:30 in the morning last night, Central Time.
Wait, what happened?
That was a nice, happy accident.
Wait, where is it?
It's in Ireland or Scotland?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland.
What? That's GMT, isn't it?
Yeah. So what time do they get started?
What part?
off-
What part?
Northern Ireland, it's in Port Rush, so it's like.
Oh, it's
right
in
on
Northern
the top.
Ireland. Okay,
Yeah,
that might be GMT +1 actually, or -1. Hold on.
Yeah. So
They teed off local time at 6:40 a.m.
6:40 a.m. for them. So
Oh, no,
that was
it's GMT.
12:30 for us. And yeah, it was fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, it's summertime, so it is.
I work super late, so I was able to pop it on in the background. I was like, don't mind if I do here. Watch that till about 3 in the morning.
Wait,
in the-
what
in the
time did it
background.
start?
12:30. And Delco, did you have to go through like 90 different apps to find it? It ended up being on Peacock.
It started at 6:30 in the morning.
No,
local
12:30 here.
I know, but local time it
Yes,
was 6:30 in the morning.
correct.
What the? Why were they? Is it because of weather coming?
Don't know.
They might be trying to get the round in.
I'm not sure.
Weather
that
was
was really
fucked over
it was
there.
I
really
mean, there's
fucking
weather all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there always is. Yeah, same thing with fucking Scotland.
Yeah, but that was a happy accident. Matthew Fitzpatrick is tied for the lead right now. And then, Delco, can you bet on, you can live line the rest of it, obviously, right? So do they do second round leaderboards? Some listeners were asking.
Like second round leader?
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay. And do they revise top 10s, top 5s, and top 20s?
Live, yeah. If you go to the live section.
Okay, great. Because that was another question by the listener. So, yeah, that's going on all weekend. Also, the new odds are up for the college football championship. Texas has moved ahead of Ohio State for the national championship this year. So if you believe it's Texas's year and Arch Manning, go ahead and bet on that now. Or it's going to get worse, I guess, if they beat him in the first game. So, yeah, now would be the time to do it. You can also pick Heisman Trophy winners, Super Bowl champions. All the odds are also up for week 1 and week 0 of college football, as well as week 1 of the NFL. The first game of the year is the Cowboys at the Eagles. The spread on that is -7 for the Eagles, so they're favored by a full touchdown there in the opener. And the over-under, I believe, is 46.5, which is wild that they already have it, but here we are. Also, we are 37 days away from college football. Let's fucking go. All of that is available up there now, as well as the live casino, which you're playing somebody, a real dealer from around the world, blackjack, poker, roulette, all of it. They pipe into the casinos there. You can actually see people cleaning up in the background, which is fucking creepy. But they play against the live dealers every Friday night on the Friday Night Blackjack Show. So it's a fucking blast. Head on over to mybookie.com today. Get off the couch and get into the action with MyBookie and turn your love of sports into your new side hustle. Just use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Next up, this story here is the paid protesters. Now, the paid protesters is the CEO of an advocacy group, there you go, Ross, said that his organization turned down an offer that he said would have been worth around $20 million to help recruit for a national rally against President Donald Trump. Interest aligned with the organizers of the July 17th movement have approached us. In fact, we rejected that offer, which is probably worth around $20 million. Adam Swart, the CEO and founder of Crowds on Demand, told News Nation's Brian Enton in an interview that aired on Tuesday. On Thursday, protests around the country are being planned against Trump, spearheaded by Good Trouble Lives On, a group that calls itself a peaceful and nonviolent protest and social change organization. They are planning to oppose Trump and what they call on their websites the most brazen rollback of the civil rights in generations. The protest planned for Thursday also take place on the 5th anniversary of the death of former Representative John Lewis, the Democrat out of Georgia, who is also a very famous civil rights leader, who routinely referred to the protest as good trouble. Now, what Swart is saying here, that the Crowds on Demand, a company that's based in California that specializes in providing on-demand crowds for protests, can't believe any of this is real, which is why the show is called Fake News, rejected the offer because they didn't think protests like the ones Good Trouble Lives On is hosting on Thursday would be effective. Said, I mean, this is a nationwide thing, right? It's not to say I would have made $20 million personally, but the value of the contract would have been worth around $20 million, and that amount nationwide to organize huge demonstrations around the country. But personally, I just don't think it's effective. So it's not, and I'm not trying to call myself virtuous for rejecting it. What I'm saying is, I'm saying rejecting it, not because I don't want to take the business, but because frankly, this is not going to be ineffective. It's going to make us all look bad. President Trump's America is so successful that blue-haired basement dwellers are paid to stage fake protests against the administration's remarkable achievements. And that was according to Harrison Fields, special assistant of the president's and comeback. Look, with these paid protesters, this is the first time that I've heard the actual groups and the names and what they're getting paid to do. If we all know this, which you and I have said it for years, it's fallen on deaf ears, except to our listeners, I think, that all these people are getting paid. How is this legal?
I mean, there's no crime being committed. What crime would be committed?
Paying people to protest in all these cities.
Protesting is a constitutionally guaranteed right, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so if you're getting paid to do it.
So here's the way that Nate Friedman, by the way, on Twitter is a great follow for this stuff. We posted some of his videos before. Nate Friedman 97 is his account. The thing that you would have to do is use Rico, right? Racketeering, ongoing criminal organization. And you would have to show that somebody was taking money to pass through to these protesters with the intent of causing disruption, which is a crime, right? So now you have an ongoing criminal conspiracy. That would be a prosecutable case. But somebody just paying people to go protest, if the guy says, here's $1,000, go hold a sign and stand there, and he doesn't tell you specifically to violate the law, then he's not committed a crime, and neither have they until they actually do it.
Okay.
So that's the
I'm not a fan of it. The same way I'm not a fan of foreign countries able to bankroll candidates in politics. Like,
I mean, it is what it is.
Kind of, but like the problem is you're spreading disinformation. If you're getting paid to be there, I think there should be some fucking.
Not only is that not against the law, it can't be because the government can't adjudicate what is and is not the truth. That's a big fucking problem, right? That can never be allowed to happen.
But if you're going to show this shit on TV of like, okay, there's 1,000 No Kings protests or whatever, and then most of them are being funded by some outside organization, all these people are paid to be there.
Then the other side's job is to point out that they're being paid.
They
That's
are,
your job.
which is what we're doing now. But
That's all you can do.
Fucking A, dude. Do we know the day rates on these? Because that was not a part of this.
I don't think I've saw it anywhere.
That I would be really curious because you and I have seen these people in the airports, and they're going from city to city to city, and it's the same fucking people, right? Saw them in my hotel, saw them on the flight 2 days later, and I was like, what the fuck, bro? I just saw you in my hotel with the protest signs and the outfits and the blue hair and all the fun stuff and everything else. Oddly enough, when they were sitting across from me in the airport, they looked totally fucking normal. Like, hey, I'm just going to the next job, which is wild to me that you were a paid protester. Also, should you list that on LinkedIn? Like, hey man, I'm a paid protester, pretty fucking good at it. Here's my highlight film. That might help you get you more jobs, I guess, if the money's right, which is why I'm asking what the day rate is. Because to me, you're essentially a paid extra in a fucking movie at that point. Like, holy shit. Which I don't think, me personally, any of this should be allowed, but whatever, man. At least we know who these organizations are. So for you guys at home, Good Trouble lives on. And what was the other one? What was the name of the other one there? That's Homeboy was running? Swart. Crowds on Demand. So Crowds on Demand are the two names of these groups. And then Good Trouble lives on. And Good Trouble was John Lewis's slogan there. So obviously we know what that's for. But fuck off, man. I mean, I hate this shit. I hate the paid protesters. I hate all of it. And until we sent out Street Gonzo to the Tesla one, those motherfuckers were paid to be there from 10 to 12, and they left 5 minutes early, for Christ's sakes. I mean, it was last call for alcohol for those guys. I mean, they were out of there. And if you want to see that video, it's on our YouTube page, although YouTube has throttled the shit out of this channel. We haven't gained a subscriber, I don't think, in, 3 years now?
It's been a while, yeah.
We've been on 279 forever. There was another podcaster who posted his amazing fucking subscribers on YouTube, and I was like, he goes, do you have any questions? I go, yeah. Can you answer this one for us? We were able to sign a video deal with Spotify, but we haven't gained a subscriber on YouTube in fucking 3 years. So what's the deal there? Because he's gaining in a week what we've had for 10 years on this fucking piece of shit platform. Luckily, though, I would recommend you watch the video on Spotify. YouTube's just for shits and gigs now at this point. I don't make any fucking money off that, so it doesn't really matter. I'm sure they'll pump this full of 80 ads, too, and say, not good for advertisers. They're nothing more than paid protesters either, in my opinion, YouTube. Next up is the Dignity Act. Reps Maria Elvira Salazar. And looks like we got a repew out of Florida. Good for her. Good for Salazar. And Veronica Escobar, Democrat out of Tejas here, introduced legislation on Tuesday to reform the U.S. immigration system, including offering legal status for certain illegal immigrants to continue working in the country amid Donald Trump's mass deportation policies. The Dignity Act of 2025 would allow illegal immigrants who have been in the U.S. Since before 2021 the opportunity to apply for up to 7 years of legal status with work authorization. The immigrants would pay restitution and check in regularly with the Department of Homeland Security, and their legal status could be renewed based on good conduct and restitution. How do you feel about this?
I think this woman should be launched into the sun.
Yeah. Well, there's two of them.
Both of them, then. Duct tape them together, save some money.
Yeah. Because the bill would offer a path to permanent residency, but the legal status afforded to the immigrants would not allow for federal benefits or a path to U.S. citizenship. Now, their statement is the Dignity Act of 2025 is a revolutionary bill that offers the solution of our immigration crisis, secure the border, stop illegal immigration, and provide an earned opportunity for long-term immigrants to stay here and work. Salazar said in a statement, no amnesty, no handouts, no citizenship, just accountability and a path to stability for our economic and for our economy, and our future.
Yeah.
My question is, why 2021?
My question is, how is this not amnesty? The fuck are you talking about?
I guess
they are here against the goddamn law.
Yeah.
Get out.
I guess what they're trying to say is it's almost like a work visa for 7 years.
Yeah, they can go back to Mexico or wherever they came from and apply for a work visa, and we can do it that way. But no, we're not going to allow everybody to fucking stay here and stop our enforcement operations because it's convenient.
And why 2021? That's the weird thing to me.
So anybody that came in under Biden, that's what they're saying.
Oh, got it. Well, that's like, fuck, 10 million people? Yeah. No. That's a hard no on that one.
No, this only applies to people who've been here since before Biden.
Oh, before Biden. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So, but why do they pick that? Why pick that year?
Because the border was not policed in any meaningful way during that time. Anybody that showed up that didn't have an obvious derogatory already, and then a lot of people who actually did, like 1,000 people on the terror watch list made it in.
Okay.
Were just paroled into the country, and they're still here. They never left, right? So, no, we're going to arrest and deport every single one of these fucking people. And I think, I think there are probably a lot of decent people that we might look into keeping. But you got to go first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to get the fuck out, and then we're going to check your ID and let you back in if we decide to do that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine with the idea that, we're going to
get these people out of there and vet them?
No, well, if there's a specific need that our country has for a specific type of talent, even if it's just manual labor talent, then we should address that somehow. Now, here's the long-term problem from this. Let's say we just give, whatever they call this is amnesty. These people have been breaking the law in our country, and they've been asked to leave and told to leave, and they still haven't. They're
Multiple
still here,
times,
right?
yeah.
So they're criminals. Every one of them. The children are criminals. I don't give a fuck. If you're a fucking 8-year-old and you steal a car, you've still committed a crime, motherfucker. You don't get to say that you're 8 and you go to juvie for that stuff, right? If you're a criminal child, just like an adult would go to regular prison. So you got to get the fuck out, right? We can talk about this. The problem is if these guys, if you do this, which it is absolutely amnesty, 5 or 10 years from now, robots are doing every job that they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
They can't fucking write or read. They come from shithole poor countries. Fuck off. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing that. I'm not doing it. Conversely, people from industrialized countries, like, for example, if Ukrainians wanted to fucking come here and start farming, I think 27% of Ukrainians are farmers. 27% of that country, their primary occupation is farmer.
Really?
And then, yes. And then another like 18 or 20% is some kind of other manual labor job, like specific to like an engineer or a fucking mechanic or something like that, right? Like not engineer like a scientist, but like somebody that's working on shit.
Right.
Pretty useful people that share our culture, actually, right? Fine, bring them in. If you really wanted to do that, why are we looking to India and fucking South and Central America? Sorry, dude, get the fuck out of here. No, I don't want those people. They don't fucking share our culture. Get the fuck out. This doesn't seem like a very difficult thing to figure out, in my opinion.
Now, Dan, people are going to come after you because it's the whites population that you want in,
Yeah,
So.
I don't give a shit. Come after me. Show me the similarities and differences between. So you know what doesn't happen in Ukraine or Eastern Bloc countries? People don't get their fucking heads cut off by cartels, and they don't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
You understand? They don't sell their own children to the cartels, which happens routinely in these countries. Fuck these people. The fuck out of here. If you can't draw a clear line between the types of behavior that are present and accepted in these places versus places, other parts of the world, European culture is our culture.
Yeah.
We took European culture and their march to liberty from the 13th century all the way up until here in the U.S. in the 18th century. We made that a country, and it's the best country that's ever fucking existed, and we have to stop letting these fucking parasites in. People that don't share our culture, people that, like, it used to be the standard was the price for admission was assimilation. Mm-hmm. I'm coming here because you guys are better.
Yeah.
I'm not coming here wearing fucking Raiders gear. You know what I mean? I'm coming here to fucking convert into a fan of a better team. That was the fucking standard, and now it's just like, oh, whatever. Come on in. Diversity is our strength. Diversity has never been anybody's strength ever in the history of human beings.
It's not working in any other country either.
No.
Also, as a Falcons fan, like, don't come in a Falcons jersey either. I don't want to.
Or Cowboys. I don't want to see that shit.
Fucking Netflix, dude, is doing that QB show, and they put Kirk Cousins on it again. It's like, why? What are we doing here? I think as far as what we've taken from Europe, we kind of maxed it out with the dine-in Pizza Huts in the 80s, you know? Obviously, we took that pizza from Italy, and that was the highest we've ever gone as a culture. We've only gone down since then.
Let me correct you right there. We took some bullshit from Italy and turned it into good food. Now, I like, from time to time, I like the wood fire, flat fucking bread, which is not pizza. It's flat bread that has a couple of things sprinkled on it. Every now and then I like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I'm there, I'll eat it. But if I'm in America, a real country, and not a second world country, which is what Italy is, let's be clear about that. I want either Brooklyn-style pizza that's the size of my fucking head, and I have to fold it in half and it gets everywhere, or I want Detroit or Chicago style that's deep dish and has a bunch of shit on it. What I don't want is some peasant flatbread. You know what I mean? I want that when I go there. It's like camping. When I'm camping, I'll fucking eat fucking shitty beef jerky and pick blackberries off the fucking right in the mouth. But fuck that shit. No, I want American food because it's better. We take everything and make it better. We're like 3M.
I like the dine-in pizza because you were talking about deep dish. Man, that meat lovers. The dine-in Pizza Hut experience was when we
They took that from us.
We peaked as a culture.
They took that from us.
Yeah.
That used to be a thing. And I'll tell you, there's a place here. What's that Detroit-style place here?
Via
313, yeah. 313, I guess, is probably the area code for Detroit. Very good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's very good.
They got Bob. Have you gone up to Mercer Street yet?
Yeah.
They got, dude, the Via's got a truck out there, man.
Yep.
So,
I like that place.
So do I. It fucking rocks, man. But bring back the dine-in, too. Like, I want to bring back the dine-in pizza. Now, that's a bill that I can get behind because I miss a good old-fashioned dine-in
I think
pizza.
if we're going to fucking ban anything, it's got to be all technology. So Theodore Kaczynski was correct about that. We've got to smash these robots to pieces before it's too late.
Look, I'm all in. I don't want to use technology.
When these goddamn robots didn't exist, you could go sit down for a meal with your family, right? And relative to inflation, it was pennies on the dollar for what it is now, right?
Yeah.
You sit down, you enjoy your family. Fuck all of this shit. I'm going to be living in Montana in like 2 weeks.
Hard AF is there, so yeah, it'll be in every single Albertsons across the state here in fucking less than 30 days. Next up, advertiser-wise here, save 30% off your subscription order, plus get some free gifts on your second shipment here. Ketone.com/Drinkin Bros. Pop it up. Is that on their homepage? No. Did they freeze my face there?
No, it's on the landing page, not on their homepage.
Oh, it is. Okay, and that's the pic they used of me? Look at that, dude.
Wow, they did you dirty there.
Not really. I
You
mean,
look like a fucking asshole in that picture.
I look all right. You could have given my eyes forward there. I look like a retard here in this one, but yeah, man, I love ketone. I love Ketone IQ. I take a shot of it every single day. Shit, it's always on the desk. It's never far. I can promise you that. I take one before I do all the podcasts, and I take it before writing at night.
Oral.
It's great. Yes, I take it orally. It is not a rectal drink.
I've never used it rectally, so I don't know if it would be good or not.
Now I do. So the one you have on screen there, Bob, right there, that's the one that I do. So I do that no caffeine shots to it. Whatever the fucking natural shit is in there, I am locked in for like 4 or 5 hours, and I love it. But they are making ones with caffeine now. So
yeah. Well, this is the green apple with no caffeine, but there's another one.
That's my jam, dude.
I think the other one has 100. Oh no, this one does natural caffeine. It's got I think 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Matter of fact, I get a coach tonight. Pop me another one right now. I'll take one before. I'll do it live on air. I love this fucking shit, and I'll ride and die with these fucking people. So this is high performance backed by science, and a bunch of athletes use it. Man, 19% increase in average power during repeated sprints. 13% peak power versus placebo, 10% less fatigue, and then 5 times increase in blood ketones within 20 minutes. That's when you're locked in. Got to coach the kids tonight in football, so I'm going to take a shot of it now. But it really fucking helps you with everything. Focus, energy, all that other stuff. And in this one, there is no caffeine. I'm a high energy guy anyway, so a lot of caffeine is a lot for me. But if you're out there, these guys have partnered up with the Olympics, They've partnered up with
Bofa?
Tour de France. Yeah. Bofa D's nuts.
If you pour it on your beanbag before sex.
It's great. You'll be locked in for 4 or 5 hours.
You'll be locked in. Your dick and balls will also be locked in.
Yeah. So it's the best, man. Go to ketone.com/drinkinbros today to get yours. Bob will pop that up now. Save 30% off your subscription order. Plus, you'll get a free gift with your second shipment. And it's usually fun stuff like this. It's like a free 6-pack, which is always rad because it's, costly. And the merch rocks too. My wife wears that sweatshirt all the time. That is Ketone, ketone.com/drinkinbros to get yours. Cheers. I'm going to do a shot here before football tonight. Next up, Puerto Rico. Oh! Remember that story I mentioned about Puerto Rico recovering from the hurricane? Yesterday, we saw Executive Director Mujica. That's what I'm going with there because it's a soft J, I believe, down in Puerto Rico.
I think that's how you say that word, right?
Mujica. Yeah. You don't pronounce that J, dude. It's a soft J, bro. Who oversees the Puerto Rican bankruptcy, opened his statement to Congress touting the importance of a fiscally responsible budget. An hour later, heard him admit the board has paid about $2 billion in fees, which is obviously the opposite.
$2 billion in fees. So this is the thing I mentioned briefly. I think it was last week.
Yeah, we were talking about last week or the week before.
Yeah, something's clearly fucked when $2 billion is paid out to legal consultants. So I wanted to know who's footing the bill, like who's paying for it, right? Because technically, it's the people of Puerto Rico are suing to get like an insurance thing, and it's like, all right, is this like the government or some? It's like the people of Puerto Rico. They're taxing the people of Puerto Rico to pay for this, and they still don't have a working energy grid. So the people of Puerto Rico are required by Congress to pay the fees of the bankruptcy board that is supposed to be looking out for their interests. This has been going on since like 2018.
Yeah.
And Congress has been forcing the people of Puerto Rico, who are poor as shit, by the way, to pay $2 billion in essentially like legal fees and retainers to this company.
Yeah.
But this, oh my God. Instead of actually solving their problem, they've charged them $2 billion.
And they're adding to the debt.
To white shoe law firms. I'm going to find out who it is, by the way. I've got a request in to find out exactly who this law firm is. And oh my God. I'm going to have a good time with them and everybody listed on their partner page.
Just had a entertaining conversation with a lawyer yesterday regarding fees and everything else, where it's just like, hey, dude, if nobody's checking this is exactly what they do. And they'll dial you up for $2 billion, whatever it is.
Yeah, this is about...
Mine was not that, but it was still costly.
No, this is more predatory than any case I've ever seen. Something's really wrong. It looks like USAID 2.0, basically, right? The bankruptcy process was put into place to help the people of Puerto Rico, and now they're footing these insane bills for high-priced lawyers and consultants. And I'm telling you, I'm going to find out who the lawyers are. I'm going to find out who the consultants are. I'm going to find out exactly how much money they've been paid and where it came from. It came from the Puerto Rican people. They've been siphoning money off this island for fucking years now. So right now, we've got people looking into which law firms in the U.S. are leeching off the Puerto Rican people for billable hours. By the way, I think it's in the Northeast. I think it's in New York actually. This is by far the most a client has ever been billed for a case, ever.
Yeah.
Right? So, for example, Enron is the largest case legal fees in history, $688 million for Enron. 3M had a mass tort settlement, I think in 22, and it was $540 million in fees. Dell Technology, I think early 2000s, $270 million. So this is at a minimum 3 times more than anybody has ever been charged, and it's the taxpayers of Puerto Rico who have been charged.
Yep.
This is why government fucking sucks. It's an unimaginable scam being conducted by some law firm in the United States, and I'm going to find out who the fuck it is. And I'm going to list all of your names, and everybody's going to know that you're a bunch of pieces of shit. So stay tuned, folks.
$2 billion is such an insane amount of money that, like, somebody else, in my opinion, has to be in on this. Because I don't think a law firm could get away with it. We're gonna them in Puerto Rico.
We're gonna do.
There's some middleman in the middle there.
It's a government suit, so we're gonna do a FOIA request and find out what the line items are.
Because I'm telling you, there's somebody in government who is making that happen. Because don't we own Puerto Rico or technically? And it's like somebody had to go through the middle to approve this. Somebody's getting paid. Obviously, the law firm's getting paid the $2 billion. Somebody has made that deal happen, and that will be fun to figure the fuck out. And if you're at home and you're going through any of this legal shit, always look through the itemized lists of all your fucking bills and everything else. And if you feel like you're getting fucked, challenge it. I did yesterday, and I won. And I looked at this and I go, there's no fucking way. This took 12 hours for a page and a half documents. Oh, it was a lot of this, a lot of hemming. Oh, well, it was, and I go, I go, that there's not one fucking prayer you can tell me that took 12 hours for a page and a half. Or you can just tell me that you're retarded. In which case, if it's mental or physical, I'll be happy to send out whatever gear you need to wear, whether it's a soft helmet or a wheelchair or something else to kind of bridge the gap there. Or if it's something mental, I can recommend a doctor in your area. It was in Nashville, and I know a lot of doctors there and insurance agents.
Yeah.
And either way, it was stunned silence on the phone, and they said, call you back tomorrow with a revised bill. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So that goes for everybody, not just Puerto Rico.
Just keep an eye on it because, even if it's in good faith, sometimes there is AI and automated generated invoices and stuff, and they're wrong sometimes.
They are.
Right? Most of the time it's nefarious in my opinion.
This was not AI yesterday, I can tell you that. One was a 54-second phone call that I had, and I just pulled it up and I talked to you for 54 seconds. You billed me for an hour.
Well, you most law firms bill by like
15 minutes,
a quarter.
Yep.
Or sometimes every 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is also common.
Either way, the call was 54 seconds.
Yeah.
So
which is a 15th of an hour.
No.
Yeah. A couple things in the chat here. One is from No Authority. I just received that actually. There's been a SOCOM, United States Army Special Operations Command duty to warn notification. I'm going to read it to you. I don't know who it applies to, but people should be aware.
Was this in regards to China?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
This message is to inform you of a recent, quote, duty to warn, end quote, notification regarding potential terrorist threat targeting retired senior officials who previously served in the Department of Defense with roles in the Syria-Iraq theater. The current geographic focus of this threat is Florida. While this threat does not directly target active USASOC personnel, we are issuing this notice to reinforce the importance of vigilance and situational awareness. We encourage personnel to remain alert to their surroundings, both on and off post, and to report any suspicious activity to appropriate authorities. We respectfully request that you share this information with any retired military personnel you know who are currently residing in Florida. Encourage them to remain vigilant and to report any suspicious activity to local law enforcement. This notification serves as a reminder to adhere to established personal security measures, including maintaining a heightened awareness of your surroundings, securing your residences, and reporting any unusual or concerning behavior to appropriate authorities. For further information or to report suspicious activity, please contact the DACID, DACI, U.S. Army, military police, or law enforcement. It's from Mark Katz, Colonel, U.S. Army, USASOC Provost Marshal.
So can you tell the audience what that exactly means? Is there an imminent threat to us?
A duty to report means that intelligence has been found that could possibly compromise the physical security of people that are involved in this thing or that thing. So they have a duty to warn anybody that might be involved in that.
Okay.
So if you're in Florida or you know anybody in Florida that's worked in the military, probably regardless if they were in those theaters or not, just let them know, just to be safe. Yeah.
Okay.
And then another thing is somebody, Womb Raider mentioned terrorist whisper. Yeah, he's like got a hard on for me. Like, it's so funny. You remember that guy, right?
Yeah. He hit me up a few weeks back regarding that Iran situation.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him though in 3 or 4 years, I think.
Yeah. So we had him on the show one time, and then he started like harassing every woman anywhere near our show. We had to kind of give him the
Oh,
boot.
really?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like Tiff, Danny reached out to me this morning and said, yeah, he was like all in my DMs too.
Really?
A couple of other Drinkin Broettes hit me up this week. Like, yeah. But this was years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
I don't think about that guy because he's a fucking loser. But he's like upset that I made fun of that fat woman on a plane or some shit like that. Like, how could you or whatever.
The fat lady on the plane?
Yeah. He doesn't like fat shaming.
Really?
I don't know. He's just
out of everything that's you'd be appalled by, fat shaming, like, because that woman was taking up 2 seats.
Yeah. I don't
Trying
care.
to. Yeah.
I don't care. He's just a fucking loser. But yeah, it's like the reason, if you're curious why we never worked with him again after that, is because he was married and harassing everybody in DMs.
Ah,
So it's
gotcha.
Go away, dude. Go away. And this will be the last you hear from me about that. Don't tag me in anything. Don't mention it to me. I don't care. He's a fucking complete nobody. All right.
Okay.
The end.
What were they tagging you for? What was the reason?
I don't know.
I don't read the comments.
He I don't know. He was like trying to talk shit to me on the internet, which is like, okay.
Yeah,
Dude, I've got stuff to do. I don't have time for this.
Unless I have to screenshot it for advertisers, and then I'll respond. But I always put my name at the end of it, so you'll know if it says like a little tilde, just because I think it's fun and flirty in Spanish, and then Ross there at the end of it. Next up, and last but not least, ad-wise on the show is AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. Prices for the last few years have been high. A lot of us have had to reach for credit cards, myself included here, to pick up additional costs, and it's not great. The APR on these fucking things is credit cards anywhere from 20 to 30%. AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros, though, is in regards to you homeowners out there. So what you can do is take equity out of your home, right around 7.5%, pay off all your credit cards, and that'll save you roughly $800 a month on average when you call them. AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. They're all licensed in all 50 states now. They're in all 50 states. They're paid essentially to be there. So you don't have to pay any upfront or hidden fees or any of that shit to find out how much you can save on your home as far as these payments go. And then they're not going to put you in a loan that doesn't make sense for you because they're not getting incentivized for it, which is great. So they're just all on salary. They're on staff, and you can call and just get an honest quote if you're looking to knock down some of these credit card fees. You may be able to close as fast as 10 days. You also may be able to delay up to 2 mortgage payments, creating more savings up front. They've helped hundreds of thousands of homeowners create meaningful savings, and it's reflected in their reviews on Google. Call today at 866-887-2275. That is 866-887-2275, or AmericanFinancing.net/Drinkin Bros. Their Better Business Bureau disclaimer is NMLS 182334 at nmlsconsumeraccess.org if you want to look them up to make sure everything's on the up and up over there. And then Bob always posts all these descriptions for our advertisers in the audio and video links. And now that we're on Spotify, like let's take today's show, Patreon will always be Patreon for us. So if you're on there, great. That's where that lives. But these YouTube shows and Twitter shows that we do live will go to Spotify after that. So all of that will be in the video descriptions on all of these platforms, except for Twitter. I think Twitter's just a link, right, Delco? It just gets linked out to them? Yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, YouTube description will be there. Audio description will be there wherever you listen to podcasts. And then video, today's video will be on Spotify. It's when do you drop that, Delco, just for the listeners?
What time do the episodes drop at?
No, the video show.
Yeah, same time, 7.
Oh, look at you. I didn't know. It just started, motherfucker. God damn, dude. You're harassing me now? Like, hey, what's that? Yeah, dude, I've been in the show for 10 years, but I didn't know when you fucking do it, all right? Just trying to give you some props, for Christ's sakes. If you don't want them, I'll take the goddamn props back.
Wait, what
like
props?
Carrot Top.
What props?
There's underneath his desk there, because that's all you guys see. It's like a Carrot Top box. It's a trunk full of props. He wears wigs. He's got acrobatic shit. He's got those fucking bowling pins, all of it, dude. And then late at night when the studio shuts down and he thinks I'm not here, I'm in the back room screaming at people on the phone. I see him out here with all his fucking goodies and he's testing out his props. I think secretly he does open mic contests with it. Or maybe Starbucks on the weekends. I don't fucking know. but I've seen the goddamn trunk and I've seen everything inside of it, and I've seen you practice after hours at work, Delco. So now you're outed.
Put some respect on it. It was Hula Hut.
Oh, was it Hula Hut? Okay.
Do you have any thing to say for yourself, you piece of shit?
I literally just answered.
Wait, what's Hula Hut?
Hula Hut is where he does his workshops.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Am I not poor enough to know what Hula Hut is?
No, it's an underground place where you can just go and try some things that, you don't have to go to Comedy Mothership and bomb. Like, you can bomb in private.
Hula
in
Hut.
LA. In LA, it was called.
Oh, it's Tex-Mex with a Polynesian twist. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, that's where you go and do open mic shit.
That doesn't even make any sense.
There was one in LA called El Cid that we used to go to, and these acts would try wild ass shit in the basement of this Mexican restaurant, and it was great, by the way.
Where is this? I've never even heard of this fucking place.
Dude. There's places like
Lake
this all
Austin.
over the nation.
Is it up in Lakeway or something?
Yeah, kind of. It's on Lake Austin. It's not on the Lake Travis or Lake Travis. It's not on the Westlake side.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
What'd you guys do?
At Hula Hut?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you went there to perform.
Ate and drank?
Ate and drank, and
So
then
you
they have live like weird performances.
So you didn't perform?
No.
No. So the one that I was taken to in LA was called El Cid. It was in the basement of this Mexican restaurant.
This is
Same
blowing
thing.
my... I don't understand what the fuck's happening.
Oh, dude. So when I got there.
Have you ever been to Super Frico in Vegas?
Yes. Oh,
'Cause
that's
it's
fucking
the
awesome.
same thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So Whitney Cummings
Super
actually
Frico,
used
the
to
food is
host
great,
it
though.
on Wednesday nights at El Cid in LA. So she used to take me, and she was like, dude, this would be the wildest shit you've ever seen. And I was like, how fucking crazy could it be? And she goes, just wait. The first act that came out, and again, we're in this restaurant in a Mexican basement. It was this chick who was wearing metal all over her tits and her pussy. It was like metal plates, kind of like a Ren
Like scales?
Fair. Yeah, like a Ren Fair. It was solid metal. And then she brought out one of those blades and then would smash it against her tits, and then sparks would fly out into the audience. And then she'd smash it up against her pussy, and then sparks would fly out in the audience.
That's a good way to start a fire, I guess.
It was great.
I mean, so Super Frico in Vegas, you've never been. It's at the Cosmopolitan. One, they have table side. Actually, Giorgio went with me there one time. They have table side mozzarella. They make it fresh with a relish plate.
That's delightful.
But they have like people doing backflips and girls with their tits out and all kinds of weird shit.
Same thing.
It's a very bizarre place, but the food is actually really fucking good
I
there.
said the food was good at El Cid too. How was Hula Hut? Was the food good?
Kind of mid.
Okay.
It's Tex-Mex with what does Polynesian mean? I know what it means, but like what kind of food is that? Like Spam or some bullshit? What is it?
It's probably just the mix. I would
No,
imagine,
Randy.
right?
No, Randy. Super Frico is quite expensive, actually. But the food is outstanding.
El Cid was not expensive.
All I could think of would be Hawaiian food, which would be like, yeah, Spam, but also like,
Rice and
good,
pork and
good, like
shit.
raw tuna and stuff like that.
Bob, and then you'll appreciate this. You know who came on after the chick with the metal tits and pussy?
Carrot Top?
No.
Delco?
Dimitri Martin.
Oh, I love Dimitri Martin.
Before he was famous.
He's hilarious. That's actually a weird place like that is probably the best place to consume his content.
So
actually.
here's the thing. That's where I first found him.
Because of the fucking the butcher block
Correct.
that he keeps drawing shit on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And dude, I was like a massive fan after that. And
Yeah, I
that
love
is
that
where
guy.
I first saw him. He was not famous whatsoever, and he was just going to the basement of this place to try out shit. And
I forget he had
it was
a show
fucking awesome. I
on
know.
Comedy Central.
I know.
But his stand was really funny. I don't know if his show was any good or not, but
The
that
show
stand-up
was
really
great.
good.
And his problem was his self. He couldn't get out of his own way. That's a different show, though, than this. Next up, mass ICE. The growing national debate over whether federal immigration agents should be allowed to wear masks during dangerous enforcement actions is intensifying into a showdown between the Trump administration, Democrats, and anti-ICE activists. The news comes as Department of Homeland Security has raised concerns about the doxing of ICE agents as attacks on them have skyrocketed by 830%. Since January, the agency said. In a new July memo, the DHS has called on the Justice Department to prosecute anyone suspected of doxing ICE agents by posting agents' photos and personal information online or in public. We will prosecute those who dox ICE agents to the fullest extent of the law. These criminals are taking the side of vicious cartels and human traffickers. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was quoted in saying in the memo, "We won't allow it in America." In California, a bill aimed at preventing law enforcement from covering their faces passed a key committee this week, edging it one step closer to becoming state law. Similar bills have been introduced in Massachusetts, New York, And while 21 Democratic Attorney General also have urged Congress to ban federal immigration agents from wearing masks or plainclothes during enforcement operations, sends, a.k.a. senators there, Alex Padilla of California, Cory Booker, two of the leading Capitol Hill critics of President Donald Trump's crackdown of illegal immigration, introduced legislation that would require immigration enforcement officers to clearly identify themselves without masks. So, if they want to do this, then do the same thing at protests, I guess, man, because isn't that the common complaints here of like, show your fucking face? Because I've heard that screamed on both sides here. Where do you land on this?
Well, a citizen is allowed to be anonymous. A government agent is not.
Okay. So you think these guys should not be allowed to wear masks? Or should be forced to not wear masks?
It is quite a bit more complex than that, in my opinion. There's no standalone federal statute that criminalizes doxing, by the way, of federal agents or anybody else. Although if you can prove they did it with intent, you can, through Brandenburg v. Ohio, you can charge them with incitement of violence and shit like that. So Marshall Blackburn has introduced something called the Protecting Law Enforcement from Doxing Act, which would criminalize it. I'm curious. I have thoughts that are informed by a lot of different things. I'm curious what you think about this, actually.
Me personally?
Yeah.
So as far as the masks go, if we're going to do it for everybody all the way around. Now, do I understand why these people are doing it? Yes. However, the same could be said about, let's go back to January 6th, for example, and all the footage we saw there. By all accounts, there was over, 200 feds that were out in that crowd that day inciting everybody to get in the Capitol. We all kind of think this was rigged and planned and all that other shit. Those guys were in masks also. So, I wasn't happy about it then. If you're going to do that law, it's got to apply to everybody, I think. But
well, that's not what that kind of law is for, right? So the idea of anonymity for a federal officer, the purpose behind that is because the citizenry deserves recourse and transparency from the federal government, which is not true. The federal government has no right to transparency when it comes to you. Mm-hmm. What you do is your fucking business, not the government's, right?
Right.
That you can't apply the same laws or logic to both of those groups. So I'll start with the statement, we cannot have an anonymous, masked, armed federal agency operating in this country. That can't be a thing. This is not East Germany. This is not the kind of behavior of a government that prioritizes the civil liberties of its people. It's that simple. Unacceptable completely. However, we need to get serious about this issue and protect our people. I don't think these two things are at odds with one another. The solution to this is not to create a new power or a new obfuscation for federal authority. That never works. If you don't think that it will eventually be used against you, I will introduce you to the Patriot Act. It has been used to spy on millions of Americans with no relationship to terrorism, not whatsoever, right? So instead, we need to get serious with cartels and leftist agitators that are committing violent acts in our country. We should allow ICE agents to use lethal force. We should change the rules of engagement, right? If somebody is whipping a fucking brick at your head, pull your M4 out or your sidearm out and shoot them in the fucking face. Sorry, that's attempted murder. Mm-hmm. If you try to throw a heavy blunt object at somebody's head, that is attempted murder. Give them the same exact right that a civilian has in that regard, right? So when I was in Iraq, actually a couple of months in, the rules of engagement changed. It was, they throw rocks, you fucking whatever, just
bat them away.
Yeah, okay. Whatever, right? And then it was then some dude fucking walked up and threw a grenade into somebody's truck. It was all right, you see somebody throwing a rock, shoot him in the fucking face. Will do.
Yeah.
Right? Happy to do that. Never happened, thankfully. After a couple of warning shots, people stopped doing stupid shit, right, obviously. But allow ICE agents to use lethal force against these agitators with a very clear rules of engagement. If you attempt to maim them with blunt or heavy objects, you die. That's it. Those people have a right to defend themselves just like you do. They don't lose their humanity just because they're putting a fucking uniform on. When it comes to cartels, I'll take it a step further. We should publicly execute these people. We should target them in their own homes back in Mexico. And if Mexico's got a problem with it, they can suck my fucking dick. If they want to go to war, let's go to war, right? They're the ones that have fucking infiltrated our country with fentanyl and sex trafficking and all this other bullshit. And again, I'm still in support of invading Mexico and setting up a 50-mile DMZ. I think we should do that. But if we're not going to, we should, at least for the cartel people, anyone who even makes a soft threat against any of our American border officers of any sort, right, or their families or the organization itself should be executed. DevGru or fucking Delta should show up at their house in a fucking Black Hawk, cut their fucking head off and leave them in the street. Videotape the whole thing and put it on the goddamn internet the next day. If they want to play this fucking game, let's play this game. And I don't have a problem with collateral damage either. If we just want to drop a JDAM on their fucking neighborhood, sorry, bud. That was your mess to clean up, and you didn't, so I cleaned it up for you with a 2,000-pound bomb, so get fucked. Now, I understand completely the desire to keep ICE officers and CBP officers as safe as possible from retribution, and their families, by the way. But we can't do this at the expense of our own people and our own civil liberties. That's not how this is supposed to work. When we set up a system to keep ourselves safe, we don't penalize ourselves as a result. We penalize the other guy who's the fucking problem. That's what you're supposed to do. So we should start doing this at the expense of the enemy, the leftists, the cartels, their financiers, and anybody else that wants to come at us. Start making an example of these people, execute them publicly, gun them down in the fucking streets, but don't create an anonymous, mass armed federal agency in this country. It's completely unacceptable. These two things are not at odds with one another. We can actually do this.
And by the way, that's why I go back to January 6th, where all those people that were in the crowds and that were inciting, going into the Capitol and all that shit that were allegedly feds, they were masked as well. Where this would have been a lot simpler if they weren't wearing a mask. Even shit, when you were in the airport and they were trucking around that illegal family through and you were taking pictures of them up close. Do you remember that guy was wearing a mask?
Yeah.
You have pictures of him. I mean, you went up right into his face and took a picture.
He's a coward.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. So,
and by the way, I don't think that ICE agents who are ICE or BP Border Patrol agents who are wearing masks, I don't think that they're cowards.
I don't either.
I think that they know for a fact right now that their government doesn't have their back. That's what they know. And that is a fucking failure. It is a moral failure because America is a country filled with brave men willing to fucking die for it. And it's run by a bunch of fucking cowards. And something has to change about that. That cannot continue to be the case.
Well, I know in California, I believe that bill is either on the floor or they might have voted like the first round of it, as far as the mask thing is concerned. And then obviously federally, they're gonna go after this.
I mean, I think the other option is to wall off California completely.
Well,
I think to not allow California to participate in what the rest of us are doing. If they want to not only, and not just California, but Massachusetts and New York as well. New York is about to elect a communist anyway, so they're gone. If you as a state decide, and this is how federalism works, you have the right. If it's not in the fucking Constitution, the 10th Amendment says it goes back to the states. If the state decides it wants to do all this stupid fucking bullshit that's making the rest of the country unsafe, then you don't get to participate anymore. That's our right.
Yeah.
We don't have to let you in. Texas should not let one motherfucker in from California ever again until they get their fucking shit straight. We should treat them the same way that we treat Syria and Lebanon and Yemen and all these other shithole countries that can't get their shit together.
And
you can't come in here.
With that, the interesting part to that is one of the bills that they were kicking around, Newsom was a tax on if you move out of California, and it's like a $25,000 tax or something like that. It was like, great, vote that in. So that way it'll keep them there. You know what I'm saying? So you voted for this shit, fine. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you, and because you can't have one without the other, and we would have gotten the answers on J6. These fucking rioters. And then last but not least on this, we were here during that, I think it was BLM. Was it BLM in 2020?
Yeah.
March, whenever the fuck that was. And all those motherfuckers were masked. They threw shit at the cops. They threw rocks at the cops. They threw bricks at the cops and everything else. Cops fired back. What was it? The knee knockers, the rubber bullets and things like that. Some people got hit because they were literally inciting violence against the cops. And I was downtown for that, so I got to see it in my fucking face. And what happened out of that? The people that got hit One of them was in the face. I think one of them might have been like near their eye or something like that. They fucking sued, and I believe the city of Austin paid these motherfuckers out close to $30 million. And so it's like, dude, that's all got to work the same way as well, in my opinion. But hey, like to show up with a mask onto a fucking protest, cool. Like, no, don't do it. If you want to fucking protest, don't wear a fucking mask either.
Yeah,
be proud of what you're doing.
I think that I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can demand that the citizenry sacrifice their anonymity. The citizenry is what matters. And that's why I bring this up, right? The reason that it's a difficult conversation because people have really, really hard opinions on it, and nobody wants to put someone else's life in danger, particularly people that are trying to protect them. Right?
Yes.
Nobody wants that. However, the reason that they're putting their life in danger is to protect not Americans or not the United States' geography, the borders. It's to protect the idea that America is individual liberty. And if you fucking have to create laws that erode that individual liberty, then you've fucked up. Period. Right? That's it. So I don't believe in that shit. I think that there's probably about, oh my God, maybe there's a lot of people like myself, probably like 50 or 100,000 that were in the infantry like I was, or at a higher level like special operations in some regard, that are just kind of hanging out doing regular jobs. Start publishing letters of marque, right? Letter of marque is a letter from the government that's basically like, this dude's got to die. There's this picture, right? Well, now we can build a full targeting package and just put it on the internet. Instead of the FBI's 10 most wanted list, they should have a letter of marque list with bounties on it. If you see this dude who's a human trafficker, you get to kill him, and we're going to give you $100,000 for it. Sweet. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of options here, and federal employees do not get anonymity. I'm sorry, man. I just that is completely antithetical to what we're trying to do here in this country. We make a lot of mistakes. We keep making them too. Because we don't want to do the brutal thing, we continue to allow the government to do the pussy thing. And it makes us all bigger pussies over time. And it's just, that cannot happen again.
But I personally don't agree with protesters wearing masks at all. Like
you don't get to tell somebody else what to do.
And that's going to be the same thing on the other side of this.
They don't have to take the job as the federal agent then.
Yeah, we actually do get to tell federal agents what to do.
That's exactly what we get to do. They don't get to have anonymity. That's just not a thing.
Man, right? Then if you're in California, why?
When you run for public office, you have to put your goddamn address on the form.
And that right? buried a lot of people in North Carolina when we flipped that school board. But I'm
telling you, put out letters of marque and hunting permits, just like deer season, right? Just so nobody gets too greedy, because some of us might. You can only get one a year. Or whatever, right?
Do you get to mount it on your mantle?
No, but you should be able to get to take a picture with it.
All right.
Right?
Like
and again, I want to bring this back. All of us want a safer country with law and order, right? But all those things are designed to protect the idea that is America. Law and order is not a thing in its own right. That's not a thing. It is designed to protect the actual thing. The actual thing is the American experience, liberty, individual liberty, and things that encroach on that cannot be allowed, no matter how good of an idea it sounds or what the outcome might be.
But with Newsom here, so he wants the mask off and all that other shits, right? And he says these guys are cowards for what they're doing. They're doing it in a cowardly way. And
Gavin Newsom's never been in a fight in his life. That dude has chugged so much semen.
I agree, but I feel the same way about protesters. If you're not amped about what you're protesting, you want to put a fucking mask on, to me, you're a goddamn coward.
That is absolutely true. Yep.
I just put your fucking face and ownership to it. What did you got bumper stickers, and you have your fucking name on it, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, this bumper sticker says that white people ended slavery.
And then he put his name on it.
My name is right there.
Same way with protesters.
That's how you do it. A man fucking says what he thinks and puts his goddamn name on it.
So if you go to a protest, be amped and be proud of why you're there. But most of this shit we're seeing, and especially by these paid ones, That is not the case here. Last story, and we'll go around the horn here just because it's just passed right now. The UK has voted to lower the voting age.
Love it.
To 16 years old by the next general election.
I hope we do it here too.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
You guys go first.
Yeah.
Because I know if it's a good or a bad thing.
Okay.
Hard bad.
Delco?
I think that you should be able to vote if you pay taxes. So if a 16-year-old has a job, fuck it, let them vote.
That's right. Taxation without representation is the most unconstitutional thing that has ever existed. It's literally the reason we fucking founded this country.
Yeah.
That's point one. Point two is the group that was in power in Argentina just a few years ago thought that they would get clever and do that. You know what happened?
What happened?
Javier fucking Milei happened. The youth of Argentina
Interesting. I didn't know
elected
that.
the most libertarian candidate in the history of global politics.
Huh.
Yep. And he fucking slashed that government to the fucking bone. Not as a surprise. He ran on it, got elected, and he fucking did it. And I'm telling you, look at these polls for young people in America. They're more religious and they're more conservative than they've ever been in any generation since the 1950s.
Why do you think that is?
Because rebellion is part of it, but also, you know, a lot of it is absurdism. They see how fucking full of shit everybody is. They're like, well, at least we can limit the full of shitness. I think that's what it is. But I think in the UK, these young people that are getting fucking abused by all these goddamn Muslims running around, they're not going to get the results that they want. I'm telling you. We've seen it already in Argentina. We've seen it.
We already know what the results are going to be.
The UK is about to pass some legislation that boots all these motherfuckers out. I'm telling you, it's coming within the next 5 years because of these young people voting. This is a huge mistake or a great victory, depending on how you see it. Right? I don't know if they did it on purpose because they actually want that.
I don't know, and that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
And because I think about this, I've been one of those people who's always had a job since whenever, right? So at 16, yes, I was taxed and I drove to work every day and all that other shit. However, at 16, I knew nothing about politics whatsoever.
What did you know at 20?
20 is when I really started to get a grasp on what was going on.
The average 20-year-old in America doesn't know shit about politics.
It's totally. And by the way, I would say even then at 20 was probably 30% where I was just like, okay, I know about some of this shit and I feel 30% confident in what I'm doing here. Me personally, did not get involved in politics until it affected my own personal business. I told the story on the show with Obamacare. That's when I really started to focus in on politics because it affected what my company was doing at that time. And that's when I was like, okay, cool. But that was, what was that, 2011? When did Obamacare pass? 2013? No,
well,
it had to been earlier. Yeah,
that was 11.
11, yeah.
It was 11.
So 11.
I think it went into effect.
I can definitely tell you that's when I started really fucking paying attention because it affected my life, my jobs, and my employees' jobs that were working for me. And so that is a very long time from when I was 16 years old. I'll tell you that. And fuck, at 16, I knew nothing about politics. So I don't know. It's an interesting case study, which is why I wanted to put it as the last story and bring it up here because I don't know the answer. And I've read the same studies that you have, and I've heard the same things, but I haven't sat down with a group of 16-year-olds. My son's not that old, obviously, so I don't know their thoughts and opinions on it. I can tell you in elementary school and middle school, no, they know nothing about politics, most of them.
I mean, look, democracy is a fucking joke anyways, right? I mean, at its core, democracy, unbridled, is 50.1% of the population telling everybody else what they're allowed to do, and that's just a tyranny of another form. We decided to go with a constitutional republic where the Constitution is what matters, and then you have representatives to pass laws in addition to that that are supposed to be adjudicated by the judicial branch, whether or not they actually match the Constitution or not. Well, we don't do any of this stuff anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly.
I do want to write you in, though, for... Did we talk about that live on air?
For Chip Roy's seat?
Yeah. I would 100% write you in on that if you want to.
I mean, I'm not voting for him.
I'm not either, but...
Not one prayer.
I will write your name in for it.
I mean, that's fine. It's kind of funny.
For Texas, what is it, 26? Is that up? I think it's in 26. It's coming up next year. Chip Roy is going to be on that ballot. I'm writing in Dan's name instead of Chip Roy.
I mean,
Texas.
it'll be next November.
Yeah, next November. So do a write-in for Dan Hollaway. All right, now's the point of the show. We get to the Drinkin Bro of the week. You could submit at drinkinbros.com. Shit, man. This next bro box is going to be bomb. One, that's one. Two, there's a secretive Epstein-ish shirt there that no one will know when you wear in public, but they'll know. And that's a fun one there. And it's one of the best gifts we've ever had. Brandon Icker, dude, our new merch guy, has been on fucking fire here. So I had a conversation with him yesterday and this morning about it. So Bro Box, get that fucking now, man. We've been on fire this year. And that umbrella last month was fucking massive, and it saved my life, my family's life in the stands the other night because shit. It was sunny as fuck, and I didn't know it was like sunproof too, which is, I didn't know that was a thing. But that's probably just me being fucking dumb. But all the new shirts are up there, and we got the new hats. Jesse was wearing that new rope hat for Drinkin Bros today. We got all the fun stuff. And you can also submit for Drinkin Bro of the week on there, and it gets emailed to us live on air. It's also available on the app. So the app is free on iPhones and Androids. You can submit on there as well. And then there's a wall on there, like the old school Facebook wall from like 2007, where you can post anything. And there is no admin shit, and it's a fucking blast. And now we just added 30 seconds of video. So if you're up to it, go ahead and muscle on over there. But we would love to see your smiling faces here in the studio. Who wants to come up for Drinkin Bro of the week?
Before you do that, we do have one DB of the week. Do you remember Brian Brahman?
Oh, yeah.
He died this morning of cancer. Some
God
rare
damn it.
cancer.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Shit.
Young dude, too. I think it was 38 or 39, 37 maybe.
Damn,
I don't
man.
remember. Yeah, he was kind of a glue guy on that first Eagles Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Yeah.
With Nick Foles and those guys. And we did a show with him, you may remember, during the Super Bowl in Atlanta, I believe.
We did, dude.
That week. He was a good dude.
He passed away this morning?
Yep.
Shit, I didn't even know he had cancer.
Yeah, nobody did until somebody, a rep of his or something posted last night that he was trying to get help and was homeless and had to sell his car and everything because he was paying for the treatment out of his pocket. Apparently the NFL did nothing to help this guy.
Well,
which is not shocking.
That is a common theme.
Yeah, unfortunately, I looped in Derek Wolf on it yesterday because we were going to try to figure some shit out, but he died this morning, unfortunately. So,
man, that sucks. He was a great guy, man, and just a really decent all-around dude. Unfortunately, pretty much every ex-NFL player that we're friends with from real life has the same fucking story regarding the NFL. So
they're not great.
Either you make all that fucking money, and if you don't, you're on your own after that. So it sucks. All right, who's out there for Drinkin Bro of the week? Come on down, sir. I believe it's you, right? Yeah, come on up here. There you go. There's a ton of people in the studio. You guys can't come up, though, can you? No. Do you work for an organization, or is it just your job in general where you're like, no, I can't come on this fucking show? I understand it. You can, though.
I can.
Yeah. Tell everybody your name.
Ben.
Ben, no mask. I like that. Yeah, there you go.
I won't tell you where I work. But
that's fine. We can keep them out of it. Thanks for being here, man.
Yes,
what do they do back there? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
Nope.
Because there was like 10 dudes that walked in and they were like, nah, we can't be on this fucking show, dude. We love you, Ross, but we can't be on this fucking show. I understand it, by the way. We get that a lot, but feel free to help yourself to any Hard AF seltzer back there. Tell me where you're from.
I'm a firefighter. I won't say
there
where I'm from, but I don't think my department would care. But me
neither.
We'll just keep it out of there.
Me neither. Look, I feel like every fire department and police station in America listens to us. So yeah,
for sure.
Good,
for sure.
good.
Yeah.
Cheers to you guys wherever you are. All right, how about that? I'll keep it.
We'll keep the name of it down in the down
Sounds
low.
good. Sounds good. Because there's a fire. There's one in my neighborhood too. There's a fire department in my neighborhood, and I'm just like, I won't say who that is either. So yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the week to?
I got two if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
First off, my wife. I dragged her here.
Is that here? Or is that her right there?
Yeah, she's back there somewhere.
Has she listened to the show before?
Unintentionally. Every drive she listens to it, but she puts her own headphones in.
Yeah, she's like, dude, I can't hear your
stuff.
fucking bullshit all the time.
And she always says, I just hear the worst part of the show every single time.
Well, today, I think
it was very
for the
clean
most
today.
part, it was on
Very
the up and
clean.
up, I think, today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
as opposed to usual. What we talk about dicks. What was the other?
Yeah, she always hears that.
The
part.
dong of humanity, and we talked about dicks for like an hour and a half the other day. So
I'm pretty sure she heard that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cheers to you. Thanks for putting up with us, I guess. Because some wives are like, don't listen to that shit in front of me. I don't want to fucking hear it. So.
She might not listen, but
but she puts up with it.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. She puts up with a lot of shit with me.
Who's the second one?
I'll give it to Camden Bernard. He's 15 years old now.
Okay.
When our paths crossed, he was 10 years old, fighting cancer for leukemia for the second time.
Oh man, that
and
sucks.
I actually signed up at a random concert for a bone marrow transplant, and we got matched, and I donated bone marrow to him, and now he's perfectly healthy.
No fucking way.
Yep.
Holy
actually,
shit,
I signed
dude.
up at a concert. It's this weekend in San Antonio. He's gonna be there. He's been there the last 2 or 3 years. So.
Wow.
We got to meet 2 or 3 years ago. They're from Louisiana.
Okay.
We went down to Mardi Gras. It was a bad choice. But.
Wow. That's wild, dude.
It was actually on Good Morning America. So,
was it really?
Yeah.
Shit. So what does that involve when you match up with somebody bone marrow wise? Is it painful? Is the surgery painful?
So I had no idea what it was. I just signed up.
I don't
at
either.
A random concert.
Yeah, I've heard about it,
Yeah.
a million times, but I don't know anybody who's physically gone through the process.
Yeah, so they started calling me and said, like we have a match for you, whatever. I was playing Call of Duty at the time, actually. So I was like, hold on, boys, I got a call from Austin. I don't know who this is.
Okay.
And they said, we got a match, blah, blah, blah. Like, after a couple calls, they're like, would you like to know what it was or who it is? I was like, yeah, sure. And they were like, it's a 10-year-old with leukemia for the second time. So I was like, yeah, like whatever, I'll do whatever.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then what does that surgery entail?
So there's like 2 ways to do it. One is kind of like giving blood, but you have to go. That one was in Houston, and it's like a 3-day process, and it's kind of a longer, drawn out process, less painful, less invasive.
Okay.
And then they asked, or you can do it the other way, which they had to fly me to Washington, D.C. at Georgetown, and they basically drill in your back in both your iliac crests, IO. And
No fucking
suck
way,
it out.
dude.
They suck it out for like 3 hours.
Holy
but I was out. I
shit.
did that way, and little did I know that was the better way for Camden. I didn't know that. I just said, one day let's do it, get it over with, and
Wow.
I started
dude.
looking at all the videos, and they were like, "Oh, it's the most painful thing you've ever been in."
Was it?
Yeah, it was like a 1-week recovery. I was back at work in a week. So,
Okay.
Oh, best thing I've ever done in my life for sure.
It sounds incredible.
Yeah, absolutely the best thing I've ever done.
Wow,
Yeah.
dude. What a crazy story.
Yeah.
Shit.
And now like our families were like best friends. Like we hang out multiple times a year, and yeah, it's great story.
Can I give you Drinkin Bro the win?
No,
I mean,
no.
that's incredible, dude.
No,
Holy shit.
Camden's the one that went through it all.
Yeah, but you too. I mean, dude,
I didn't do
flying it. Did they fly you out there and everything? They
yeah,
paid
they
for
actually flew
expenses?
both of us out there. You have to take somebody with you. So my wife went with me.
Okay.
But it was during COVID, so she couldn't even come to the hospital.
Oh,
And
wow.
she
So
was-
you had to do it by yourself.
Yeah, she was staying at the hotel, and she's from the small town, so she's not used to big city. So I told them, I'm going home tonight. And they were like, no, you're not. Like, no one's ever done that. And I was like, well, I'm going home tonight. And so they were like, well, you got to do this and this. And I did, and went home that night.
And
Did
was
it that
there a
day,
lot
went
of
home that
pain?
night. It was pretty bloody, but I mean, it was kind of sore.
Shit.
It was kind of sore, but not bad.
They
Really.
give you any fun drugs at least?
Oh yeah, they give me all the
All
drugs.
right.
I mean, I was out. They intubated me, and I was out.
No, I mean the days afterwards too,
I'm not really a drug guy.
No shit. With that much pain though, man.
I might have taken one hydrocodone on the way home.
I was gonna say, yeah, because that much pain when they're drilling into your back like
It's
that,
really
like
not that bad.
no shit.
No.
All right.
No.
Wow, dude, that's an insane story.
Yeah.
Man, there's very few times on this show we bring somebody up and they have a crazy story like this,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, dude, that's nuts, man.
So I signed up for a concert. My father-in-law, one of his best friend's wives died from leukemia, so they started the concert, and then
and
it
then
just
while
comes
you were
full
there, you
circle.
end up saving a kid with leukemia.
That's pretty awesome.
Fuck, that's insane, dude.
Yeah.
You were my Drinkin Bro of the week. I will go ahead and give that to you.
I
and
didn't do
will not
anything.
say
Canada's the
you're
one that did all. He went through all that.
sure, but
twice
still,
as a-
to do it
yeah.
is wild. Man,
Good story.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
Dude, thanks for being
Can I
here.
give
Holy
two
cow.
quick shout outs too?
Dude, do whatever you want.
My boy Jake Dickerson from Wichita Falls. He's also a partial owner of Hard AF. We've
Okay.
been texting back and forth.
There you go.
I told him I'd shout him out, and then Brandon Haynes. He also works for my department. He just got promoted.
Awesome.
I got him on Drinkin Bros on a wildland deployment. So
Get the rest of the guys on it, dude.
Sure,
and,
I'm trying. I tell
play it-
everybody.
Just play it in the firehouse, dude.
I
A
do.
lot of people do.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
That rocks. Is it in? Are you local here to Texas? Just the state itself?
Texas, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you can take them
for sure.
a case of hard AF and just say,
sure.
hey, thanks. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you guys tuning in at home. Go to Spotify, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick. Well, actually, there is no review. You can leave a comment now. So they just added a comment section to Spotify, I found out. So I heard about that. Delco said he'll post the video tonight. That's 8 o'clock EST, 7 Central here. So you can watch the video on Spotify. And the back catalog is going up now as we speak. I think there's 550 or 600 episodes already that Fake Ryan's already put up there as far as the way, way back catalog. So you can watch those videos as well. Then head on over to iTunes. It's just a 5-star and you can walk away. I promise you that's all the advertisers care about. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin Bros Fake News Good.